Everybody shut up because, ladies and gentlemen, ninja and samurai, guys and gals, smurfs and smurfette, welcome to the Ninjago fan panel. I'm Tom's lawyer and I'll be hosting the show today. I actually have two victims trapped in my basement today. First, say hello, Weevie.
Hello everyone, how are you?
I was hoping you would make some, like, muffle your mouth and make some kind of whining noise like it's duct tape and you're in my basement or something. But we also have NinjaCole down here in the basement with Weevie.
This is why I uploaded 2 non-Ninjago videos in a row, because all that's down here is Nexo Knights and a copy of Lego Batman DC Spinners Unite. This is why. It's his fault.
Yeah, that's why you're not getting your Ninjago content, and you will like it. I'm forcing him to do non-Ninjago stuff. But anyway, first things first, we need to address something. Weevie, you were recently named in the Chen files, visiting Chen's Island. Now, what's the deal with that, huh?
I plead the fifth. Yeah. I'm not that funny.
Is it fine to back out of this class? You know, I'm too big to risk
Hey guys,
this kind of involvement.
Hey guys, I'm busy.
Is it okay if I back out? Yeah, is it okay if I back out of here? You know, it's just like...
No, you were photographed with them too, actually.
Whoa.
Hey. No. I hate noodles. There is no evidence that I like noodles. All right, ramen noodles. What's that?
That's right. When I go to Panda Express, I get fried rice and not chow mein. That's my proof, right there.
Well, that seals the case.
It does. It really does. So originally we were gonna get Krusty 783 on here so that we could be like a Mount Rushmore, like the 4 Ninja. Instead, we got a trio, the 3 Musketeers. Alvin and the Chipmunks, perchance. I'll be Alvin. Who's gonna be Simon? Wait, which one of you guys is taller? What's your heights?
I'm sorry to say, but I think I'm Alvin. I'm the big guy here. Let's not, you know.
Wait, what are your heights?
I know NinjaCole
I'm like
is... Go on.
I'm around 6'4". I'm pretty sure.
No, you're not. This is gonna be like one of those things.
I swear.
Okay,
No,
here's my thing. I promise you, I measured myself a few years ago, and it was 6'4". I don't know if I did it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But I usually say 6'4", but if you want to be technical to make it better, maybe like 6'1" or 2. You know,
That's
I'm over
a
6 foot.
big difference.
yeah, wait, no, he's lying. No, this is gonna be like one of those things where I'm gonna pull up to some Lego convention, like, I don't know, San Diego Comic-Con panel that they have at San Diego Comic-Con or something like that, right? And then I'm gonna see him, and he's gonna be like, not even an inch tall, like a quarter of an inch taller than me, and I'm like 5'10", and it's gonna be like, well, what happened, 6'4" guy?
I am taller than 5'10". I will say that. Like I said, I'm a tall guy.
All right. Yeah, you are Simon. Wait, what about Weevie? How tall are you?
I'm about 5'10" as well.
Damn it. I was hoping you were shorter than me so I could, like, make fun of you for being the midget.
Theodore.
I will.
Yeah, you're
Theodore.
I will gladly be Theodore because he's kind of just there to vibe. He's just there for
As
the
a matter
ride.
of fact, I'm actually fine being Simon because Alvin's more annoying, so I'm not the annoying one. So actually, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Are you gonna?
fair. I think.
Are you gonna become French in one of the movies?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the third movie, he becomes like some French weird character. Like I don't know, it's this whole arc. I was gonna say Alvin has a good arc in that movie as well. I don't know why I'm talking about arcs like it's an anime. It's like it's just Alvin and the Chipmunks, but
The Alvin arc.
Dude, those movies are terrible. I've only seen like the first one, but I've seen reviews. But like the first one is terrible. Like,
to be fair,
Maybe I'll watch him at some point because I'm curious.
To be fair, the second and third one are the best in my opinion. They're still not like good. They're still like cheesy, average like 2000s movies, but I think they're better, especially the third one.
which one is Chipwreck? Is that 2 or 3?
That's
Which one is that one? That's 3rd. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You got because you got the first one, then you got the Squeakquel, then you got Shipwrecked, and then you've got the Road Chip, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember that
Legendary.
because they literally reused a shot. I think they reused a shot from Chipwrecked. That was like, you know, the female Theodore, I forgot her name, was like
Eleanor.
Holding a present.
was holding like a coconut, was like, it's mine, 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 mine. And then for the trailer for like a Christmas special, they reused the exact same shot, but with her like holding a Christmas present. And it's even as a kid, I noticed that, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like that's the exact same shot from the other one.
I think she holds it and says "my precious" like it's a Golem reference.
My precious.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. Dragons Rising Season 4 Part 1. We got a couple of planned subjects starting with that. We'll also discuss the live-action movie, maybe opinions, theories, hot takes, whatever. So, starting on that note, let's go with... we'll go with Dragons Rising Season 4 Part 1. We'll go around the room and give our takes on it. I'll start with Cole, and then Weevie, and then me. So...
What are your thoughts on it?
Okay.
Well, with the introduction, I started with
Weevie first, so I felt it was only time.
Oh, good. So I would say that Dragons Rising Season 4, at least Part 1, is probably like my second favorite season so far from Dragons Rising, like just exclusively Dragons Rising. And then like I'd say top 5 Ninjago season, maybe like top 10 actually, due to issues I'm going to in a minute. But like some of the positives, I really like Lloyd's arc a lot. Even though I feel like they could have done more with it, but like what they did, I'm happy with it. But the thing that like really dampers season 4 for me is the weird pacing coming back from season 3, because it's like we have all the ninjas separated, and the weird pacing is a big turnoff because we have all the ninja like separated into pairs, and each episode has to cut back to them. Like sometimes I swear it's happened 3 times, like in an episode, and it's like I don't know, especially when we get to the stuff with like Lloyd and young Lloyd, where it feels like it's just kind of interrupting that story arc, when it's like, I want to watch this story arc. Stop interrupting it. I don't care what like Sora and Nia and all them are up to. I want to see Lloyd stuff. Like, I mean, I cared about it obviously, but it's like I'm here for the Lloyd stuff mainly. It's just like I just wish there was a full episode dedicated to it and nothing it, if that makes sense. Like I really hate that pacing. But it was a lot better than season 3, so you kind of have that going for it, because it's like, well, it's better than season 3, even though I don't like it. So
that's totally fair. Yeah.
But one thing I want to point out, because this is a very big thing with me, I am very vocal about the way that Kai treats Jay after season 11, and the one scene I want to take credit that maybe Doc Wyatt saw my video and like maybe did something. I don't know, but like there's this scene, I can't remember which episode it's in off the top of my head, but when like Jay is like trying to figure out what happened to him, why he lost all his memories, and then Kai's like, because his brain was messed up to begin with, and like Nia stomps on his foot and I'm like, that one was for me. That's for me. Thank you so much for that.
I was gonna say, like, I also had an experience kind of like that, where I had to do a double take, like, is my work being seen? Because I wrote this fan fiction called Electric Memory. It's the story about what happens right after the merge. Jay finds himself in some village in the realm of madness, and so it turned out that, like, Jay's first memories and, like, this... after getting them erased, was finding himself there in the realm of madness specifically, and it was pretty much almost exactly the way I had like written in my story, and it's administration agents that take advantage of him and like remove the memories digitally, and that all was confirmed to have been the case, that it wasn't any mystical force of the merged land, that it was a digital tool from the administration. And so especially just specifically him being in the land of madness, I was like, holy crap, did they read my story? I mean, obviously not, because my story came out in February, and I think they had like written and voiced and animated this way before then.
Yeah.
But it's a crazy coincidence.
It is just a funny coincidence. Yeah, I definitely see that. Yeah, that's all I really have to say for now.
Weevie, what are your thoughts?
So I've been possibly one of the biggest defenders of season 4 I know like it's been fairly universally like received. I know there is still a lot of detractions from it, which are like completely fine. Like I have my issues with the season, but I definitely upon like a rewatch of season 4, I've slowly but surely kind of began to realize it might be my favorite season as long as part 2 lands. But
that is a big concern, yeah.
Yeah, like the biggest concern is that season 4 part 1 is really good, and if season 4 part 2 doesn't carry on with this, I'm going to be very disappointed because I really enjoy what the season had to offer. I agree with like all of NinjaCole's points of weird pacing, like you know if there were dedicated episodes, it'd be a lot better. Like I agree with that entirely, but I don't know why. There's something about this season that just kind of resonates with me. And I think just from front to back, like all 10 episodes has just been like an absolute blast. Like I've had a lot of fun. I've rewatched the season so far twice. And I'm about to get onto my third rewatch very soon. As long as I can get myself through the rest of season 3 part 2, I have not been enjoying that.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. Maybe it is because of the very mixed bag of season 3, but season 4 just feels like a major step in the right direction. It feels like it feels like what I would expect from a Ninjago season, and I love that. I love that. I feel like it's a season that I want to watch, and I feel like season 3 just didn't do that for me. So I think that's like my biggest thing.
That is fair. That is all entirely fair.
Sorry,
Can I throw in a quick thing?
Yeah.
I just love how both of me and Weevie's things are just like, yeah, season 4 was good. Better than season 3. Thank goodness gracious. That's basically been our thing so far.
And I was actually somebody who like very much defended season 3, and now that I look back on it, my defense of it was kind of for nothing. Like I rewatch, I rewatch, and like okay, I do still like season 3 mostly just because it's entirely carried by Rogue Jay and Jay's entire arc in general. I really liked the Land of Lee and Aaron and Ross, especially Lord Ross. I feel like Lord Ross has kind of been carrying from season 2 part 2 all the way up to recently. So I got to give the writers a lot of props and credit for being able to write such a competent season, or I guess like part of a season with season 4 without including Ross. It felt like he was really carrying for me, especially like I don't know, toward the end of Dragon's Rising season 3 part 2, the part that I was like the most hooked on was Ross beating the absolute hell out of Geo, Rontu, and Frohickey, and he like kills some random detective guy, and then he beats up some skeletons, like kills them and wears their bones. I thought that was awesome. That was some like Oni trilogy level badassery, and so that was just like carrying for me. And now they, I really wanted to see where, they were headed with Ross. But now that like season 4 part 1 didn't have him, I'm actually kind of glad that we stepped away from him for a moment.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand because I do see a lot of people disappointed, mainly because I feel like people don't like Empress Beatrix that much. But I do. Like, I love Empress Beatrix. She's probably one of my favorite Ninjago villains. And I just really like the Imperium storyline and seeing all the citizens, like, revolt and everything. Like, I don't know. I really like that.
It's a great allegory for fascism and authoritarianism.
Yeah. Thank goodness there's no real-world parallels to that, am I right? Thank God. You can cut that out if you want. I don't know if you want to leave that in.
I kind of want to leave that in.
No, I mean, if you want to, go ahead.
I find the point you just made really interesting because I'm one of the people who maintains that Raj should have had more in season 4 part 1. I am like firmly on this point. And I find it like really funny because Raz's only appearance, being the very end of the last episode, he's not even credited in the episode. Fun fact, like he's not in the episode credits. But the thing is that as much as I wish he was around and he at least had something, like some form of something to do, and I'm hoping that means season 4 part 2 will clean it up. The thing is that I still also really like Beatrix as someone who doesn't overly care for season 1 or more specifically, Season 1, Part 2 of Dragon's Rising, Beatrix was a massive breath of fresh air for me. And I think she is better in Season 4, but I don't think it detracts from her Season 1 appearance or the lack of Raz. I'm hoping that she exists alongside him in Season 4, Part 2. That's my ideal world.
Yeah, I will say, I get all that with the disappointment of Raz not being in the season, and I do concur with a lot of it, but I really love just the visual of Raz not being there for the entire season, and then he just shows up like a dad coming home from work. Like, that's how I kind of saw it. When Raz showed up, I was like, "Oh, there he is!" Like, it's like, "Oh, hey, Dad's home."
I do just I guess love the fact that because he was carrying Season 3 so astronomically hard for me, that like the fact that they could write something competent with him or without him, that was just very impressive to me because he was carrying for so long. I didn't even really like the Tournament of the Sources. That's another thing that I felt Lord Ross was kind of carrying on his shoulders. And so yeah, so my happies and crappies, I guess, with Season 4 Part 1 is that I really like that Ryu has importance again. In Season 1, it seemed like he was going to be one of the ninja, but then his importance as a character kind of phased out, so then they brought that back in. The animation is bussin'. I don't know, like, what these animators are eating. Like, these guys are being fed like grass-fed Wagyu steak and like fresh eggs, ultra whatever. They're not drinking like tap water. They're drinking like straight glacier water. They're eating the freshest fruits. It's not like the Invincible animation has been like embarrassing at times. These guys are probably eating like Arby's or something every day. But
that is so funny. Just sorry, real quick. Just whenever like that one action sequence was trending all over Twitter, that was the first thing I saw was people being like talking about Invincible. It's like, it's real funny.
I do got to give credit to Invincible Season 4, which really did step up in animation, in my opinion. A lot of people were still kind of crapping on it, but I thought it was a major improvement. But yeah, Invincible has had a lot of very poorly animated moments, to put it lightly, and Ninjago is just Dragon's Rising completely mogged it with just that one scene, the one fight scene in the Whispering Wood. And so the animation just seems to get better and better. I love that Lloyd has consequences for skipping his age of like with the Tomorrow's Tea. I thought that was really amazing. I loved his arc overall. And I've just been very vocal about how I think Dragon's Rising quality has been so good, just so up there with like Oni Trilogy for me. I just love long-term storytelling, like long-form arcs.
I do too.
I love the stories actually getting time to breathe, whereas older Ninjago, I didn't like that it was kind of anthological and very self-contained to a season, whereas you get something like the Oni Trilogy that's a continuous arc, and that's when Ninjago's at its high point. Dragon's Rising continues to build higher and higher, so I really love that. But some dislikes, I feel like they could have done more with Frack and his dad. I like could have gone deeper into that. Lloyd losing in the ritual, I guess like spoiler warning. I forgot to put a spoiler warning. I'll probably just edit one in at the very beginning of this whole thing. But Lloyd losing the ritual, but then the Source Dragons kind of like cheating him out of it anyway. That I didn't really like. I wish he had earned the dub there. And the realms, it feels like the realms are kind of being, I guess, like, I don't know if I'd say limited, but now we just learned that old-timey village that, Frack and Sora and Wildfire ended up is an entire realm, and that place of where they were getting their desires just come to fruition is also an entire realm. I feel like they could be a little bit more sparing with the realms or leave some a mystery, but that was one thing. And then Jay getting most of his memories back pretty much instantly, that was something I really didn't like. I don't know if you guys saw my video on this. I didn't want Jay to get his memories back at all. I kind of wanted it to be like a Gamora thing in the MCU where the characters kind of struggle with, is this really Gamora? Is this the same person, essentially? Like, if you replace all the parts on a ship, is it a new ship? That kind of philosophical thing. And then the Imperium villains, I didn't really like him that. I liked him in season 1, and I did like them in season 4, part 1. I don't really want to see the Imperium people again, though. If they use them again after this part of a season, I would be a little bit disappointed. Yeah, those are my overall thoughts.
I think what you're saying about the like the thing of Jay's memories. Like I always have said that Jay's memories were going to be coming back.
Yeah.
Not like
Well, yeah.
I've never stood on whether or not I wanted his memories to come back or not, because I just never really knew how to feel about it. I really enjoyed Rogue. I think Rogue was the best part of season 3, easily. But
Yeah.
I think with season 4, part 1 so far, because this could age like milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with Jay's memories returning, I think the biggest thing about him is that he doesn't feel like 11-minute era Jay. And
So far, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, so far. He feels like a really...
Yeah, keep stressing.
Yeah. Listen, guys, listen. I want to make it clear. But, like, the thing is that I think Jay in season 4, part 1 was, like, a really good blend of, like, a more classic era Jay with hints of, like, the humor of Rogue, which I think is good. I think, like, you get 2 thumbs up for me for that. But the thing is that if they don't do that and Jay now falls by the wayside because his arc is over, I think that is going to be where it ultimately goes wrong, and I wish Rogue would return. But I have faith that Doc and the team are going to smash it like they have been so far. But there's just that one part in the back of my brain that just goes, if his squeaky voice returns, please don't do it. Like,
yeah, hopefully they'll do that. Like, yeah, good.
They were never going to actually, like, not let him get his memories back. That was just kind of a hope in the back of my head because I like stakes and consequences. Yeah. But when you kind of are your memories in some way, I guess. So they would essentially be killing off the, like, actual Jay, and they're not going to do that. I just wish that maybe they there was a lock in his brain that, like, locked his memory, so they unlocked it. But instead of most of them flooding in at once, which I did like that they would flood in at random times. I thought that was a cool aspect, but I was hoping it would be much slower and paced out.
I mean, because, like, not all of his memories are back yet, so I think that's going to be a thing that comes back in part 2. Because, like, he even says at the end when Cole's like, "You got your memories back?" and Jay's like, "Well, a lot of them, not all of them yet." So I think that will be a thing that goes into part 2, and, like, I hope they do some stuff with it. I hope it's not like I do like the comedy, like when he got his memories back and he was crying over his turtle, like that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was
I hope
cool.
they keep. Like, they do stuff like that, but, like, I hope they do, like, some stuff. Like, I think it'd be funny if they just, like, ripped off Shadow of Ronin and, like, they did, like, the thing where he remembers the whole love triangle and he's just mad at Cole for a whole episode and then remembers, oh, wait, that was settled. All right, never mind. I think that'd be funny.
that'd be good.
But, yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just want more clarification as to his shattered goodness. I think, like, I'm not, it's a fork found in kitchen discussion point because that's what everyone's thinking with Jay at the minute. But if they want to move on from it and just, like, retroactively do, like, oh, he got his memories back, so his goodness is fine, then fair enough. But it's referenced in the season by Evil Lloyd, so I feel like they can't ignore it now. So I'm hoping they can address it, but I don't know if we're going to get the answer we want. I think it's just going to be...
Unless if they do, like, heal his inner goodness and the squeaky voice comes back, maybe we'll just want him to go. No, go back. Go back. No, shatter it back. Shatter it again.
Put on the mask. Put on the mask. Put on the mask.
Put back on the map. Put it.
I was gonna say, like, I heard Doc Wyatt tweet something about how Kalmar is actually still alive, which I would call BS on, but whatever. It's his universe. If they do something interesting with it, I don't know. But it'd be kind of cool if, imagine Kalmar's back for an episode. Jay is fighting him, and Jay doesn't really remember much about him. And then during the fight, Jay gets like flashbacks and memories to everything Kalmar did, and it like strengthens him throughout the fight. I don't know. Maybe I've been rewatching Bleach recently, and that just they would have flashbacks like that make them stronger during fights. And so maybe I'm like Bleach brained right now, but that just looks so cool in my head.
I don't think they would do this, but I think it would be cool if, like, you know, since his goodness is still shattered, like that's like a thing. Maybe Jay just like flat out kills Kalmar, or not kills, but like, you know, because this is still a kid show, so I don't know if like they would let Jay outright kill him, but like, you know, injure him.
I don't know. When I saw at the end of
But it
season
would be
3,
cool.
at the end of season 3, when Ross was just beating the hell out of these dudes, I was like, damn, this has the edge that the Oni trilogy had, where it's like, is this a kid's show? This seems almost more like an anime.
Yeah, I will say if Jay outright kills Kalmar, that I will be impressed. Like that would be like, holy, what the.
Yeah, I don't like what they. I don't know. I kind of like what they did with Rontu in season 4, part 1, but I really I'm sticking to my guns in saying that I wish Ross had killed her at the end of season 3, part 2. That would have been really awesome, especially to have her like kind of die-ish, but then, you know, there's still more to teach Ryu, so she like comes back or whatever. I wasn't a huge fan of that.
I wasn't either, but I kind of saw it as like, so I saw that as like her giving up, right? Because she thought Roz was dead. I mean, Roz. I meant, well, if Roz was dead, she wouldn't be giving up, would she? But no, if that Ryu was dying and she was like already like depressed either way, and she was kind of giving up, and I saw that as like her, like her spirit giving up, and then when she saw, what's his name? What's the guy's name again? I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Egalt.
Yeah.
When he found Egalt, when she talked to Egalt, that kind of like lifted her spirits back up, so it like stopped the transition. Like that's how I kind of saw it, and I'm like, if you look at it that way, I think it's pretty beautiful. But I get it if like people, because again, initially I was like, wait, are they canonizing that people could just come back from the dead like that? I don't know, like I don't know if I like that, but like,
Well, have you seen?
headcanon?
Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
No, I've
Yes,
not caught up
I
on
have.
those. No.
Okay. I was gonna say, I guess just for the audience out there and for Weevie, it kind of reminds me of the scene where Rocket is sort of like dying, and he's seeing his old like animal friends in this like sort of space, and then one of them is like, wait, you still have more to do, and then just blasts him back down into his body, and then he like miraculously comes back from and like doesn't die or whatever. I think of it as sort of that. Cole has no idea what I'm talking about right now. I probably sound schizophrenic or something, but
It's okay. I think I know, but I kind of get what like you're saying. It's like, yeah, I definitely see that, but I see it as something like that, but in just like a more beautiful way that I think I like. I like it.
that's fair. And one thing you said also is that you wish they did more with Lloyd's sort of like arc and his self arc. I had this idea when Dragon's Rising season 4 part 1 came out, that they should have delved really hard into his past and then created some version of Moro and Garmadon and Harumi, and he has to confront his past, and I was talking about it on my live stream. But then a chatter kind of reminded me that like Dragon's Rising is still trying to be self-contained. I mean, personally, I can't imagine watching Dragon's Rising as a non-Ninjago fan, but because of that, because it's trying to just be like an open space for new fans, I guess, that they wouldn't want to have such heavy themes of the past like that. And we've seen Lloyd as a sensei, like in Dragon's Rising, have self-doubts and insomnia and other stuff and worries. So it does seem throughout Dragon's Rising that it is consistent that the biggest enemy in his life is himself. So
Right.
that was really good, and I loved the dialogue there. I thought that went really deep. Again, I wish he actually did win instead of being like carried out of the ritual by the source dragons, but yeah.
But I get it. Like I definitely understand, but like I see it because like they said it himself, like he is unnatural. So he was kind of unnaturally like handicapped in that fight, right? And it's like I don't think logistically he could have won because it is like a mountain load of trauma that he still has to deal with. And I see it like because I was kind of thinking the same thing, but Weevie pointed out to me, and I agree that it feels like a spiritual win rather than an actual win.
Yeah.
And I view it that way, and I like it. I understand, but I definitely I will throw out real quick because you did say talk about the standalone thing. I definitely agree with that. I will say I am glad that Dragon's Rising is definitely more standalone because I haven't successfully done this yet. But whenever I recommend Ninjago to somebody, because it is so hard to recommend Ninjago to someone when they're like,
Yeah.
it's got like 200 episodes. Why do you think I'm gonna watch it? Like, and that's fair. And it's like also I don't think season 1 and 2, while they're good, I wouldn't call it a very good advertisement for the entire show. So whenever I tell somebody to watch Ninjago, I always say, if you have any nostalgia with Ninjago, then yeah, start with the regular seasons. But if you have like, if you're going into Ninjago like completely newbie, no knowledge whatsoever, I would say go with Dragon's Rising because it is like when the series is at its best, and it's a really good like it's a really good show and tell, and then you can go back and watch the other stuff if you want. But that's what I always say.
That's fair. It's really weird because Ninjago has been my favorite show since I was really young. I don't even really recommend it to people just because, like, I feel like the average person around our age group would be more interested in, I guess, Oni trilogy parts of the show that takes 8 seasons to get to. So if I do recommend Ninjago to somebody, I always say it starts off as a kids show, but then progressively gets like more like narrative depth as it goes on, to the point where by the Oni trilogy it's almost more like an anime and stuff like that, and the fight scenes are a little wonky and Minecraft PvP-ish, and that it's very cartoonish but gets serious as it goes on. That's how I usually pitch it. But I can't imagine watching Dragon's Rising without seeing Ninjago first, but that's just me. If somebody out there has done that, let me know in the comments how that went for you.
Just like I said, it's so hard to recommend it to somebody because again, they see all those episodes and they're like, I can't watch this, and it's like, I get it, and it's like I really want you to see, because I mean you could technically recommend somebody the Oni trilogy first, but I'm just like I don't know. Lloyd goes through so much. It's like I feel like you have to get to know Lloyd before you can enjoy that. And while I do feel that with Dragon's Rising as well, I feel like it's a little better because, we're kind of starting at ground zero with, so it's I view it as like it's definitely better if you've seen the show before, but to a newcomer, I think it's still very much enjoyable. And then, like I said, if you rewatch the show from front to back, when you get back to Dragon's Rising, then it hits a lot harder. It hits like 2 times harder. It's like, damn, this sucked before. God, this.
I like the I like the idea that someone has like seen like the season 4 animation on Twitter and has like turned around to like NinjaCole saying, it's been like, bro, Ninjago looks so good. I didn't realize Ninjago was so good. Where do I get into it? And you just turn around and you go, well, first you got to watch 200 episodes. Then you can get to that fight scene. Have fun.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I can't recommend it. And it's like if someone really just wants to see that fight scene, I would be like, if you want to watch season 4, if you want to start with season 4, I guess go ahead. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could if you really wanted to. Like
I don't know.
If you're just interested in well animated fight scenes and that's like all you're doing, like you just watch like action slop, I guess, then you could theoretically just start from season 8 and then watch the rest of it. Heck, there are even some good fight scenes that I'd give to, I guess, the OG era and the revival era, like the flashback with Wu and Garmadon versus Crux and Acronix, Kai versus Karloff on the boat. Those are pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah, luckily, Sons of Garmadon, I actually have recommended one person to start with Sons of Garmadon. I don't think they ever did. But also, so, one thing that Sons of Garmadon that like really stuck out to me was that they were trying to make it more for, I guess, the normie crowd coming from the movie, which I can't imagine going from like the goofy toddler goo goo gaga like brain rot Ninjago movie to Sons of Garmadon. That'd be like
whenever you say that, I just can't help but think. I don't know if you've seen this, but I made a short like a year ago, and it's literally the scene with like Garmadon in the movie is like teaching Lloyd how to throw. You know, it's like, I'm gonna teach you how to throw, and then you're like, huh, oh, that's cute. I'm gonna go watch the show, and then you have like Garmadon throwing Lloyd through a brick wall. Like,
I have no son.
I can't imagine like actually transitioning to that. But they did make it sort of a launch point with that. I guess other than the Sensei Wu plot with him being missing and things like that, that's hard to understand if you are a newcomer. But most of it, like they have that one scene that really stuck out to me where they're training in the courtyard, and Lloyd talks about taking a walk with Harumi, and the others are like, oh, you got a crush on this girl. And then they each give their different, like, methods of riz, for lack of a better term, that sort of, I guess, like, paints how their character is to newcomers. And I thought that was really interesting. Kai says, like, you gotta act cool, like you don't care. Cole says, you gotta have muscle. Jay says, you gotta be funny. And stuff. So that was subtly saying, like, oh, to the newcomers, here are who these characters are. So you could, I guess, start with that.
Well, it's just the boys being boys, you know? Like, that's great.
Yeah. And then Nia, being the girl in the group, kind of sets them straight with, like, be yourself and all that.
Be yourself and honest, yeah.
But seriously, going from the Ninjago movie to the Oni trilogy is like going from Care Bears to The Godfather.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do really like the Lego Ninjago movie, though. It's not... I watched it again recently, and it wasn't as good as I remember, but I still quite like it. I have a lot of complicated feelings about it.
It's fun. It's fun for sure, but other than that, not my thing.
We're kind of in the same boat on that, NinjaCole. It's like every time I watch it, I feel differently about it. Every time I think about it, I feel about it differently. It like solely depends on what part of the movie I remember.
Yeah.
I liked Coco as a, like, she seemed like more of an actual mother character than Misako ever was. And I like the idea of Lloyd being in school and then, like, fighting, being a ninja on the side of that. I didn't like how the rest of the ninja were in school, as well. But I think, like, it would have been so cool if in the show, like maybe during Sons of Garmadon, Lloyd was also trying to balance being in high school and everything with being a ninja, kind of like Spider-Man. That actually would have been awesome. And then his school, he sees like his classmates around when the city is destroyed and his school is destroyed and stuff like that. And Harumi, I don't know, maybe Harumi's like some girl in his class or something. I don't know, maybe I'm making it sound cringe. Maybe I'm making it sound cringe, but I just think that was a strong part of the movie that if that was in the show, I wouldn't have minded that.
My favorite thing about the Ninjago movie, it's not even anything in the movie, but I don't know if y'all remember, but the first trailer for that movie had Bad Blood by Taylor Swift in it, and I just think that's really funny.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I hear Bad Blood, I think of that movie.
That's all you can think. It's so good. It's so funny.
I will also say that one of my like top 5 funniest Ninjago scenes ever does come from the movie, and it's the scene where Garmadon's attacking the city, and all the ninja are in class, and like the teacher goes, "Oh no, Garmadon's attacking," and the whole class in unison, "Thanks, Lloyd."
Lloyd.
That scene kills me because bro was just going about his day and he's got 30 people being like, hey man, that big dude with the 4 arms out there who's like, you know, attacking the city, that's your fault. Like, it kills me off every single time.
Dude, I bet, like, not to get political or anything, I bet that's how Barron Trump feels. Like, that's Trump's, like, 18 or 20-year-old son or something like that. And he apparently is, like, just trying to have a normal life. According to some sources, he's not even, like, a political guy. And there was this news headline that came out that's like, Barron Trump tries to ask classmates for their Discord, and people were like, yeah, that's a normal thing, who cares? Like, so that's gotta be what it's like.
I feel horrible for that kid, dude.
That's gotta suck. In fact, just being the son of any politician ever has got to be the worst thing, because that's one thing about politics, even localized city politics, is that you can be anything on earth. You could be military, YouTuber, personality, you can work any job. Politics is the one job where people will try to dig out the, like, most egregious things that they can find. Like, they'll find, if you even dare to run for city council, they'll point out how you didn't use a hall pass to go to the bathroom in 2nd grade. Like, they'll rip you a new, like, butthole. It's crazy.
You know, I wonder how cool Barron Trump is. Maybe I could show him the Ninjago movie and be like, hey, this is your movie.
No, imagine he's actually
you could relate to this.
He's a super fan listening to this, like, podcast right now and is giving his takes on
Hey,
things.
Trump, hit me up. Go to my channel, check my about, my email's there. Contact me.
I love the idea
He's
of
sitting-
Work on a collab.
He's sitting there just, like, thinking, like, aha, yes, I wonder if they're going to talk about Sora's character development next. Like, he's, like, secretly a super fan. Barron Trump, if you're watching this, yeah.
I like the idea of like you know, NinjaCole and Barron Trump like watching the Ninjago movie, and again they get to the scene where all the kids are like, thanks Lloyd, and all you hear is just NinjaCole next to him just going, huh how about that?
Hashtag relatable.
This
Yeah,
you
you relate to this, don't you?
On that note, I guess, of, like, imagining Barron Trump is watching and thinking about, like, Sora, whatever, I guess let's get to the next topic, and that is, what are your guys' hopes and dreams, sounds like a dramatic, like, term, hopes and dreams, for the future of Dragons Rising? This time, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say that I always kind of hoped, I hope that by the end of Dragons Rising, I like that the older characters have somewhat of a backseat. They could give some of them a little bit more to do, but I kind of want them to be phased out by the end to where they're taking on very, like, higher purposes. They become demigods, like maybe Kai patrols the land of monsters, Nia patrols the sea, Jay patrols the sky. Either Jay or Zane run the administration, Cole obviously presides over the land of lost things, and Lloyd sticks to being the sensei over the group of new characters. And also, I was really hoping, I said this in some of my streams and video essays, that Euphrasia should become a more, like, involved with the group, the squad of characters, and that did end up happening, so that was pretty cool. And I think Sora, Aaron, Wildfire, Frack, and Euphrasia could become, like, the new main team of ninjas with Lloyd as the sensei, and the other, like, older ninja only appear for cameo purposes, but they're basically demigods that have higher purposes. Because I didn't like that, I don't like that they just keep accumulating more and more powers, but then they're forgotten conveniently so that they can power balance the characters well. So now they don't know how to create an elemental dragon, they don't know air jitsu, they don't know this and that. And so it would make more sense if by the end they did have all these, like, mass powers, but they're, like, cosmic level guardians with higher purposes than just, like, the Tournament of the Sources or something.
Yeah, because I will say that is, like, one thing I really miss about Dragons Rising, and that's why I really love Dragons Rising so much, because it felt very focused on Lloyd, Aaron, and Sora, and Wildfire later on. But, like, it felt very focused on them, and then the other ninja would just, like, come in and just disappear after a while, right? And that, I don't know, it just felt like the franchise was moving forward. But now it doesn't feel like that as much anymore, and I'm just like, it's fine, I still like it, but, like, that was what I really liked about Dragons Rising, was that it felt like they just disappear for a while, and the focus was on Lloyd teaching Eren and Sora, and one of my favorite episodes actually from Dragon's Rising is Crossroads Carnival. I really love that episode, and it's kind of a middle ground between like a important episode and a filler episode, and it's just a really nice episode. And we haven't really gotten an episode or anything like that in quite a while, and it's like I kind of miss that. and
it's where we get introduced to Dorama. That episode does have one of my favorite scenes as well, when Lloyd falls into the tent with all like the photos of the ninja. I really like that scene. There's just something very...
Yeah.
I like that they slowed down to have that moment of just the kids talking about the ninja. I love that.
Dumb kids, by the way, who couldn't recognize Lloyd. Dumb. No,
you look like one of them. Really?
I will say it was cute. As it was cute where they were just like, people say I look like the Green Ninja. It's like, nah, you look more like Master Will. Like, that's cute. God, that's cute.
That was a fun scene. That's fair. And that did kind of give off season 1 vibes of, they are still young and get into, I guess, trouble and stuff like that. They are still kids at the end of the day. And I kind of miss that. I guess Dragon's Rising could do a slightly better job at banter with the characters. That doesn't feel as rich as, I guess, seasons 1... season 9 I thought did a good job of that. Even season 5 did really well with banter between the characters. So I think they could do a better job.
Yeah, especially in season 1. I feel like the characters are written, I don't know, like it feels like they're more of a family now than like something in season 11 and onwards, for example. I don't know, something in Dragon's Rising, especially in those first couple seasons, like they were written a lot more family like, and I really like that.
Fair.
Cool.
You led the dragons right to us. I'm gonna kill you.
I think the merge is going to be permanent, and my prediction for the main ending of Dragon's... I don't know why I said main ending. Like, there's a secret ending, but there's the Snyder cut.
You remember the secret ending that the Stranger Things fandom was talking about? We're going to get it.
Conformity Gate. But anyway, back to the topic. I think the point of Ninjago, because I remember when they first announced Dragon's Rising, they announced the name as Ninjago United, like Manchester United or something, but like the football team. But I don't know, Weevie, is that your football team of choice, Weevie?
No. United.
But anyway, it was originally supposed to be called Ninjago United. We know that Wu wanted the merge to happen. I think the first Spinjitzu Master foresaw the coalescence, and I think the message overall is going to be like, we're stronger together. The lands are stronger as one instead of being divided, and that's going to be the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I want to throw out is like, I really hope that like Roz doesn't get some sort of redemption, because like what he's doing is like, I really like, I hope that like he has like a very he has like a Thanos type of thing where what he's doing is very, very wrong, but he has a shred of like humanity to it, right? Where it feels like he's doing the right thing. I hope it's not like a thing that's like it's evil and then they say it's evil and then he's like, oh no, it is evil, I gotta stop. I hope he's like, I hope he thinks that this is the right thing to do and he keeps doing it. I hope they don't force some kind of redemption into it, because we've had a lot of forced redemptions. It's okay, she's with
I reckon we go all in on the secret endings that we talked about. I think we go right in like FNAF Security Breach, and we get comic strip endings of like different things. And one of the endings will be the ninja strapping Raz to a missile as he gets sent into the sun. Like I think that's it. We get a second ending where Wu's orb like becomes just Garmadon and everyone just goes, huh? And then just cuts to black. Like we just really do this.
I would love
Yeah,
if they
I like
did
it.
something like where I know this they would never in a million years do this because this is way too experimental and out there, but imagine if I guess 1/3 of people who had Netflix or whatever streaming service Dragons Rising is like predominantly on, they had access to one certain ending, whereas another third of people had a different ending, and then another third had a completely different ending, and then everybody argues over what the ending is when they have three different ones. If they did that with some show, that would be so cool. That'd just be awesome.
Yeah,
So
Streaming sucks anyway, so
The conversations around the season would be actual hell. Like I remember
Yeah.
when season
true.
when season 4 part 1 dropped, I distinctly remember being in call with NinjaCole, Parachuting Kitten, Krusty, Cheesy 2009, and was there someone else there? I don't remember.
Jeez, you got
just
the
really naming
Ninjago.
all the connections you have. Just
Yeah.
really
I was gonna
naming all the
say.
connections you have.
I was gonna say he's got the Ninjago YouTube Avengers out here.
But I'm like picturing like doing that again, but then being like, oh guys, the end in season 4 part 2, Raz's master was revealed. That was crazy. And then you got someone else in the call just being like, hey man, don't know what you watched, but like for me, it ended with the ninja, being stranded again. Well, that's not what I saw. You must have gotten the wrong copy.
That reminds me of like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, how there was apparently like multiple scenes like across movie theaters, right? And everybody was like, "Yo, this is so cool! It's like a butterfly effect or like a dimensional thing or something like that." Blah blah blah. And then the digital came out, and then they realized that it wasn't. It was just because the director didn't know what he wanted. So
It
I was
goes
like, man,
it goes back to that like really old conspiracy theory. Do you remember the old theory of every copy of Super Mario 64 is unique? Does anyone know that?
personalized. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
don't know
personalized.
about
That was
that.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's put like every
We-
copy of Mario 64 is personalized to like the specific cartridge that you got.
Yeah, we
That's
had a
crazy.
thing in the Sonic fandom. We had a thing because like when Sonic Colors Ultimate came out, a lot of people were playing it, and people were like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Like I didn't have any glitches." And then there's people that are getting like Caesar glitches, and it's just like, what? Every copy of Sonic Colors Ultimate is personalized.
I was gonna reference Sonic earlier and say like the Shadow the Hedgehog, how there's 10 different endings and some stuff like that. Imagine Dragons Rising had that sort of thing going on.
The
Yeah,
Ninjago
definitely.
ARG.
And then they put out an official ending, and none of it matters anyway. So it's
Yeah.
that's this thing I hate about Shadow the Hedgehog so much. I love the idea of like 10 endings to a game, and then you can decide, oh, I like this ending better. This is the one I'm going to stick with. And then they're like, nope, sorry, there's a last story that is the actual one, and none of the other ones matter. Sorry, sorry if you like those other ones.
Also, the problem with doing that method of storyline is that you have so many things that get brought up earlier that only go into later storylines. So
Yeah.
they essentially become useless if you don't take the path that goes with whatever thing that is. And so then there are some endings that they have to justify. Like if you choose the good path and then the last path you take is bad, then the ending is basically that Shadow just gets fed up with Sonic the whole time and says, "You know what? I'm gonna kill you. I hate you."
no, that's so funny. It's like, why are you siding with them? And he's just like, I'm siding with them. I'm just siding with anybody who's not siding with you. It's so funny. It is hilarious. Weevie has no idea what we're talking about, but dude, it is funny. I wish
One
you
thing
knew
I was-
Sonic Weevie because it's hilarious.
One thing I'm going to say also is, I guess, a prediction or hope for Dragons Rising is that they have a Green Destiny level fight scene where it goes on for pretty much a whole episode, and it's got, I guess, Aaron and Sora fighting Lord Ross, and the exposition is up there with Green Destiny. Lloyd is probably in some greater battle with the Source Dragons, and the like Ross has all the icons, and therefore he's unmerging. So they're having to jump from like pieces of land in the air, and the sky's that weird like wavering pink color, and all the flashbacks of the merge. That would be absolute cinema, and I agree that they can't do
yeah.
some sort of revenge revenge. They can't do some sort of redemption for Ross at the last minute. They can do that with Rapton, and I've said a few times that would actually add something interesting to his character. But with Lord Ross, it is kind of the Thanos thing where in Endgame, Thanos kind of subtly admits that it wasn't fully about his ideology, that he just sort of wanted to do this. And I think Lord Ross is in the same boat where, is this really about his own people disappearing? I don't know, but I guess that's the beauty of Lord Ross, is that he's written as such a good manipulator that he's got me fooled, because I genuinely do at times believe like, okay, he is avenging his people, but then sometimes I'm like, is it really because of that, or is there something else going on with his master? So
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I did see. I remember. I love whenever someone brings up Roz's like intentions and everything. I always think of this tweet. I don't remember who tweeted it, but someone said, "Listen, Roz is trying to bring Chima back. Let him cook." Let him cook.
He was
Anything
an
but that.
unsatisfied customer that
He was like, "They canceled. I gotta bring Chima back. I gotta bring him back." That is one thing. I want to run that real quick. I'm like one of the 10 fans of, well, fans is a strong word. I don't know. But like I hope
Acquaintance.
Chima gets some kind of cameo within Dragon's Rage, because like if they don't have anything Chima related, that's going to be a really big missed opportunity. I know they already confirmed that like we're not going to know what happened because that's just going to take up too much of Dragon's Rising time. And I think that's completely valid, cuz like no one cares what happened to Chima besides us. No one even like what is Chima? What even is Chima, right? I get it.
3 people.
But come on, we got to see him. I want to see him. I don't care if it's like directly at the end. I imagine like at the very end, like in the series finale, like they're like held up somewhere and they're like in the middle of an ambush, and then like Lavelle, Kragger, and Eris just show up out of nowhere and just like start beating them up. That would be absolute cinema for me. That would be absolute cinema.
That would actually be really cool. That would go hard.
I
Want
remember,
it, dude.
I remember when like the promotion for season 2 part 1 was coming out, and I remember the clip of Raz and Jordana like walking through the forest, and like Raz is just like talking about things, and he says, "Oh, the Forever Rock." Like he references that, and I know that's a Chima thing.
Yeah.
And I like distinctly remember like any time I like looked at the Ninjago community for like the week after we heard that, it was just always like, guys, Chima's returning, guys, it's returning, guys, Chima, please, guys. Like, and it's like, come on, it's like a fun little nod that Chima fans would know. And like people were taking it as like, no, guys, season 2's Chima season, it's happening.
No, because my thing with that, when that came out, I was so happy because like I really thought that they like I didn't know for sure if they were gonna do it, but in the back of my mind, I was like, are they gonna retcon Chima? Because like I don't know if they're happy with the fact that Chima's like part of this merge realm thing. Like I'm sure they're like sweating bullets like thinking about this, and I'm like, dude, did they retcon it? Please don't tell me they retcon it. And I saw that because I saw Lord Roz in season 1, and I'm like, that dude's from Chima. Come on, don't tell me he's not from Chima. Don't you dare tell me that like there's just another realm somewhere that has these humanoid. No, he's from Chima. Shut up. And then like that came out, and I was like, oh, thank God they didn't retcon it. Thank.
Do you reckon?
I think it would be really cool as well if like, because they didn't really end up doing much with Chima after it, I guess, ended.
No.
So it would have just been pretty cool if they
The only
just
canon ending we have is that they are at the top of Mount Kavora. There's nothing else. They're still at Mount Kavora to this very day.
It kind of sounds like the ending of Splinter and the Blind Man's Eye was that it only got halfway finished. So they're at the top of the mountain when Lloyd is about to ascend up to the Cloud Kingdom through the Blind Man's Eye, and it's like this huge climax and everything, and it just like abruptly ends. So what it happens between seasons 10 and 11. So did they all just like go down from the mountain and be like, okay, I'm bored, and then you just stop?
Do you guys?
Chima should have been lumped in, is all I was gonna say, with like Ninjago, just like an Agario when the bigger dot eats the smaller dot, and then they both become a bigger dot. That's how it should have been.
I wouldn't mind like Chima coming back as like a Ninjago spinoff. I think that'd be cool. I like that would only appeal to me and like maybe a couple of other people, but I don't know. Give it a shot. Just give it a shot, man. Because I've always said like Chima is not a good show, but a lot of the ideas that it did have, like I think it was really cool. Like when Shima focused fully on lore, it was better than Ninjago. The only problem was that the show wasn't. The show was not. The lore is, well, maybe not now, but like back then when it was coming out, I'm like, yeah, Chima's like really interesting. I really like its world. I just really wish Chima would focus on it. Now that like Chima is mixed up with all the realms, I think they could delve into that. That would be cool. Like, there's potential there.
I maintain, like I would love to have a conversation with Doc one day if if he's watching. I'm trying. Like I would, but like one of the things I would ask him is that like at any point, like at any point during the development of Dragon's Rising, has he been sat in the writers' room? It's him, Glenn, and Kevin, like all of them, just like sat about on a table, just going, "Why did they reference Chima in season 5? Why? Why?"
No, that's what I'm thinking too. That's what I'm
Like
thinking too.
I really want to know if they see that scene and they just sat there gritting their teeth, like, why did they do that? Like, come on.
I don't know.
They've done so much with the wildness that I don't imagine they hate it that much.
I don't know, because like
No, it's probably just like a minor annoyance. Just like, oh, dang it. Like they were dreaming up like everything they could do for Dragon's Rising, and they were like, oh, we can do this and that. And they were like, oh, by the way, just to remind you, Chima's canon. And they were just like, oh, dang it.
they're scrolling through the Ninjago wiki. They're like, oh, okay, so Realm of Madness, okay, cool, Cursed Realm. Chima? Wait a minute. No, wait, no. Call the Hegman brothers now.
God, could you imagine if the Nexonites? Could you imagine if they did that?
Oh,
that
my
would
God.
be crazy.
Into the Lego verse, and that's what Dragon's Rising becomes.
Oh, jeez.
Let's just make Lego Dimensions canon at this point. So let's just do it all.
Real.
I mean, I've always talked about this, and like other people have said it too. But I've always like, I don't think this is the case because I'm pretty sure it's Zarkar. But could you imagine if Lord Vortek was Roz's master? That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking
think
that.
I think it'd be fun because like Lego Dimensions hasn't been a thing for a while, so I don't see it as like a plant or anything. So it's not like it's not like a shoehorned in reference or anything. And it's like like we have Clutch Powers. They've already brought back like classic Lego characters, and Vortek is like a character. So like, I would have no problem. I genuinely. Like I'm not expecting it because like I really don't think so because I'm pretty sure it's Zarkar 1000%. But
no,
if it was Vortek, I'd be pretty happy. I'd be pretty happy with that.
I don't.
That was also one of my guesses.
No, not Zarkar.
Or what about Zilvar? Is that
Clearly,
what his name is? Zilvar?
Clearly, you guys don't watch Weevie videos.
No, I saw your video. So this is what happened. Yeah, okay, get a load of this. So I was on call with Weevie one of these days, right? And he was telling me, like, I got it figured out. I know who Ross's master is. I'm putting a video on it Friday. And I was like, okay, bet, don't spoil. I want to see. And he's like, I got a very specific guess that everybody around me seems to kind of approve of and think is right. I'm like, all right, well, this must be good. Is it Zarkar? Is it this? Is it that? And he kept saying no. So I was like, all right. It's got to be somebody I'm really not thinking about. And then I watch his video, and it's not even like a character. He's like, oh, it's whoever Egalt and Arantu trained. And I'm like, you made it sound like there was like some specific identity that you had in mind, when in reality you didn't really have a character guess. You just had like, oh, you kind of had like things that you suspected about who the character, and not
It's the student. It's the student. I'm telling you, it is.
But that's not like a character. That's so like abstract though.
But what if Zarkar or anybody else is the student?
Then
What
I'll
about
blow my
that?
brains out.
He'll do it on like a call. We'll do that.
I don't, like I said, yeah, it's not a specific named character, but I think the coincidences of this final student of Egalt and Rontu and Raz's mysterious master, I think it's a little too coincidental. And either I've looked way too far into it, or I have like hit the nail on the head and they'll call me Nostra Weevie. Like it's gonna be one of the two. And again, if I'm right, let's go, boys. If I'm wrong, you didn't hear from me. You know, it's
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. delete the video. It wasn't me.
That was the Weevster.
That wasn't me. That was Weevil. That was Weevil.
yeah,
not
yeah.
me. It was Weevil.
It's my, I don't know, like a shameless plug, but like if anyone watching this video has not seen my Raz's Master Theory, I would highly recommend you look at it, because if you look at the evidence and the things that I've pointed out when it does come to the Master and this last student, it's damning. It is like,
Yeah.
it is to the point where if it's not the case, I'm gonna be sat there going, well, who is this guy? Like, then who is this
I hate to
mysterious
admit it.
person?
I hate to admit it, but this is even working on me. I might actually go and watch it.
I'm telling you, it's damning. It is like, there is so many things that make you go, well, wait a minute. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just, yeah. Give it a watch. Give it a watch. It's painful. It sent me on a spiral. I was on call with Parachuting Kin at 2 a.m. about this.
Anyway.
Text Parachuting Kin. Are you free to call? I need to speak to you. I need to speak to you.
Anyway.
I was gonna say, I'm sticking with my guns on Ross's Master being the Time Twins, but that's just me. I don't know if that's a
I don't know.
hot take or something, but
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. It made kind of sense, and like I've thought about it in the past, but I'm just like, I don't know.
it's just because like I really want to see like when a villain, I guess, is trapped in just them being trapped in some time space seems so weird that I don't know. That's just like the only villain that I could really see returning like this. I know it was confirmed that it's not going to be the Overlord, which thank the first Fujitsu.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Thank.
Guys, somehow the Overlord returned.
Ugh.
I actually don't hate that he returned back in Crystallized. Maybe I'll get into that with the hot take segment, but I don't.
I do. Ugh.
It's just because like his importance was so exaggerated back in season 2. Like, this is the battle to end all battles, and so then because they didn't know Ninjago was gonna keep going, they felt like they had to reuse him in season 3 because like, oh, this was like the villain of all time. So we gotta have him.
Who
But
else
then
are they gonna reuse?
yeah, but then by the time you get to like season 6 or 7, by the time you get to like. By the time you get like that far, you've kind of forgotten that the Overlord ever existed. So, because his importance was so overstated, the idea of him like returning, I thought was fine. But I saw Krusty say one time in either a live stream or a video that the Overlord, if he's gonna be evil incarnate, he actually should have done something evil, like kill somebody. So.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah.
Boring
in Crystal. I don't like him in Crystal. Like one, I don't like that he's back. I don't like him. But B, I just don't like him in general. I never saw the Overlord as this great villain. You know, like I don't see Ninjago and I'm like, yeah, the ultimate villain is the Overlord. Like whenever I think of like iconic Ninjago villains, I always think of Garmadon. You know, people like that. Like the Overlord is there somewhere, but like as like a spiritual, not really spiritual, I don't know what to say, but like supernatural, I think is the more term. Is like he's more of a supernatural villain that's just there, right? As like he's just the big bad to one up Garmadon because they couldn't have Lloyd fight Garmadon because they didn't want Garmadon to die. So it was just like Garmadon 2.0 pretty much. And that was like that's all I ever saw him as. And it's like I didn't mind him coming back and rebooted because like I always saw that as like a necessity because it was a great way to like bring people back, you know, market it as like the Overlord's back, like watch this, and it's like yo, because as good as like season 4 is, like that wouldn't have been a great season to like sell people like to come back on, right? But like selling them on coming back to see the Overlord and the ninja fighting them again, you know, that's a good way to sell it. So it's like I always saw that as like a necessary evil. But Crystallize.
So your opinion is that the Overlord is more like one of these like post-final boss characters, like the Great Devourer or the Preeminent or something.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's kind of how I see him. Yeah.
I don't
Like Dry Bowser in Super Mario.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't.
Not quite, but yeah, sure.
It's like the Overlord is really weird to me. Like I think like conceptually the embodiment of evil and darkness that is like the manifestation of half of the balance, I think is like inherently cool. Like I think it's
Yeah.
like fundamentally good. I just think that the problem with that uh caricature, is that the word I want? I don't know. Like the thing with that is that when someone is like the literal embodiment of evil, you can't really factor in motivation. You can't factor
Yeah.
in Garmadon's desire to make the world his own image, or Moro's desire to be the Green Ninja, or Harumi's desire to have revenge on the ninja. Like it's simply, it cannot exist because an embodiment of pure darkness is just evil.
Nothing.
Yeah,
It's just
it cannot exist beyond one dimension, and it's like, and that's like the ultimate problem with it. Like they've somewhat added in this motivation in Crystallize that wasn't really fleshed out at all. Like Wu like says it passively once, and like it's the thing of like, oh, he wants to corrupt the powers of creation. But
he's just doing that because he's evil. Like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
and,
like
but yeah, that's the
reason
problem.
for it.
Yeah,
It's just
again,
'cause he's evil.
yeah, it just defaults back to he's doing it because he's evil, and like it's
Exactly.
really annoying because if a villain with motivation wanted to corrupt the powers of creation, there's a story. Like there's something there. Like that could be really cool. But we don't have a why because it's just the Overlord, and that's
He's evil.
yeah, that's the issue. Like it really is.
And it's not even in like a have any of you seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
Good movie.
No.
Fantastic. Oh, dude, you got to watch it. It's a fantastic movie.
I never
Well,
got
there's a
too
villain in
much
it.
into Shrek, but I guess I could check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you do. You need to. There's a villain in it, Jack Horner, and he's evil for the sake of being evil, but it's much better because like it's kind of for comedy's sake, but it's just like yeah, he's evil, and that's it. Like there's no reason behind it. He's just evil, and it's like, but it's in a more like weirdly charming way, as weird as that is to say, but like yeah. And then
But-
like you have something like the Overlord where it's like yeah, he's just evil, and it's like yeah, that's it.
But
not.
interestingly, Puss in Boots actually does what we talk about correctly, without spoiling it for you, Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
Like the main villain of the movie is technically an embodiment, to put it simply.
Yeah.
But
No, I
he
get what you mean.
does. But he does have a motivation, and it's completely believable, and I really like it. It's like.
Mhm.
Like you know what it is called. Like I don't have to explain. Like
No,
I
I
don't
know,
want
I
to
get
spoil.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I get
and it is like a case of an embodiment with motivation, and I really like it, and it translates extremely well. Which shows that it can be done. It's just I think the Overlord's too far deep because he's been the villain of 3 seasons and a miniseries. So it's just
yeah.
Getting called
It's
Tom's
just-
lawyer instead of Tom was such a weird moment. It's like when you're called by your gamer tag by your friends at school, like, hey, XX Wolf, like, fucking Wolf Clan 360. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a generic username.
I'm gonna throw out one more thing. Literally, Tom, I have a 4K of Puss in Boots. I will literally
Oof.
rip it and send it to you.
whoa, hey, wait. For legal reasons, he's joking.
Yeah, don't have that in
The
the
legal-
video, but like,
Well, hey guys,
I
we
will
don't
say I'll
know.
do it.
We don't know where Cole lives. I don't know if he's ever made that public. He could live in like something like Serbia where there's no copyright law. I don't know if there's no copyright laws in Serbia. I just made that up, but like, you know what I mean.
yeah. Anyway,
But I was gonna say,
Such a good movie.
I don't inherently hate the idea of a character like the villain being just the embodiment of evil who's evil to be evil. The thing is, you can't then shy away from actually doing evil things. You can't just have it where in season 2 he like turns the sky purple for an hour or two, and then in Crystallized he has the crystal zombie thing, but that doesn't really last for too long and doesn't have any permanent damage. I guess we'll just use this topic to transition into our Ninjago hot takes, but my hot take is that the Overlord should have killed Wu in that one fight, because the fight was awesome. It was one of the best animated fight scenes in the show, but it seemed more like aura farming than having plot relevance. And because Wu comes back in Dragon's Rising as a spirit, that would have been like a better segue into that, as if he's killed by the Overlord. Or Garmadon could have also been killed by the Overlord as well. I wouldn't have hated that, but yeah, and I also do like the idea. I like the idea of the Overlord. Tommy Andreasen came up with this, and he said that it's his headcanon on the subject, which is weird for the creator to say, this is my headcanon. Like, that's such an odd concept.
Yeah.
But he said his headcanon on it, because I don't know, maybe he has to like run it by the Hagman brothers or Lego or something before he can, I don't know. But his idea, his take on it is that the first Spinjitzu master, born of both Oni and Dragon, was originally trying to expel his Oni side onto some stone statues that he created so that he could kill those statues, and then like get rid of his Oni side for good by doing that. But when he expelled his Oni side, it backfired and created the Stone Army and the Overlord. And so the Overlord is the first Spinjitzu master's Oni side specifically. And that's a really awesome idea. But
I like that. Yeah, like that's pretty cool. You know, like you would have to have like you would have to have that like reveal or like the first Spinjitzu master there either way, but like you need something to bring it back to that. Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know, just him being the villain and that is it. Oh, it's just so lame.
I can't lie, I disagree with that.
Really.
Oh.
I've always seen the first Ninjitsu Master is a character that I think a lot, but have weirdly never really talked about, like in like an extended manner. I've always envisioned the first Ninjitsu Master being the kind of character that's like Ninjago is built on balance, and the first Ninjitsu Master, going back to the embodiment theme, he's the embodiment of balance. The idea of him expelling a part of that, I don't think I like, because because I prefer the idea that he would be able to have both sides of light and dark, creation, destruction, and all of that. I like the idea that he would just be able to have the best of both worlds. So to expel it, I don't think would be the best thing in the world. I just prefer the idea that the Overlord was the reaction to the first Ninjitsu Master creating a realm, because in recent time, and I think for a while in general, the realms have been referred to as the realms of creation. And I like the idea that with the addition of a new realm of creation, because Ninjago is the 17th realm, haha. I like the idea that with the creation of a new realm spawned an imbalance, which created the Overlord to measure it back out.
That makes sense. I think the whole thing, this is another like big hot take that I've been standing on for a while, is that they want to make it about balance. He's part Oni and part dragon, but he's also like revered as a godlike figure. I wish that they made the first Spinjitzu master a little bit more imperfect, and he has some qualities about him that are, I guess, negative, and he makes some like more mistakes and things like that. I think that would have been much stronger for the theme of balance.
Yeah.
But
I see that.
I think the first Ninjitsu Master just inherently hasn't really been explored properly. I think the 11-minute era has tried to do it. I think, like the little stories, like, the first Ninjitsu Master with Wojira, and all of that. Like, I think that was good to expand on things, even though it does like open up many questions, because they say that the first Ninjitsu Master came to the realm of Ninjago and it was just sea, even though we were also told that he created it from scratch. Blah, that's the whole thing.
It reminds me of Christopher Columbus. Like, I discovered a place where people were already living.
Yeah, literally. Like, it is actually that. It's like completely that. But like, I like the idea that, like, because the story introduces the idea he's not perfect, because he doesn't defeat Wojira. It's actually Niad. But yeah, they just haven't done it enough. I don't know. They just need to give him something. Like it astonishes me that the first time we actually heard his voice was in season 9, and the first time we've seen his face was in Old Town. Like it blows my mind. Like
Yeah.
give him something. Like please.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's another thing I was gonna say for the future of Dragons Rising. Just to jump back to that for a second, but after Dragons Rising, if they were to do a prequel show that kind of ironed out the timeline, and it was just titled long before time had a name, was like the name of the show, I'd be so down for that. And it's kind of encyclopedic, but not less in an info dumping way, but like tells the story more clearly.
If Lego knows ball, that they can have this idea for free. If they could always just do what Star Wars has been doing. Not everything that Star Wars has been doing. But like Joe, how they've been doing like Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Republic. Like Joe, those like little shorts that they've been doing. Do that, but with Ninjago. It's right there. Joe, I'm gonna make it simple. More of the elemental mech shorts. There you go.
Yeah.
Like there it is. Like it's truly that easy.
I've actually had an idea for like a mini series that like I think it'd be really cool. I just don't know where they would put it because I feel like networks and like streaming services would not like vibe with this idea at all. But I really like the idea of like a mini short series that takes place during Lloyd's time at Darkly School for Bad Boys. I think that is like a genuinely like amazing idea for like a short Ninjago series.
Yeah, because like they brought back Jillian Michaels for season 4, part 1. Like
Yeah,
they clearly
do something with that.
Yeah, they're clearly open to the idea of young Lloyd again, which is amazing.
And they have like stuff that they've told stories about. Like I want to see like that thing in season 2 where like Brad taught Lloyd like the art of revenge. Like I think that'd make a really good short. I'd love to see that. And then we can also see like some building blocks of like Lloyd like being a good person inside, that like tried to be evil for his dad, but like he was always a good person inside. I think it'd be great.
It's not a bad idea. I did hear. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Apparently on Lego's website they had a character description for Lloyd that like this person bullied him back at Darkly's, and it was just a completely random name that was never mentioned in the show until Dragons Rising season 4 part 1 when the evil Lloyd brings up that name, and it was the craziest throwback.
That is really funny. Yeah.
I truly think like if like Ninjago especially in the era of Dragons Rising, it's definitely felt like more than a TV show. It's felt more than what it feels like it's becoming a franchise and a universe, and I love that. Obviously it already was, but
Yeah.
I love it. It feels like the world is so much bigger, and I truly think that if they really want to take advantage of it and give us what what that universe is, what's it about, and then clean up earlier instances of the timeline, like we were saying, like they would bank in on what they've been doing, because they did it at the start of the show. Like, in the 2011 mini movies, they gave us these little shorts that explained away how Wu got to the underworld, how Nia got got her initial thing with the Samurai X stuff, how the ninja were doing flying lessons. Like they did all that. That was great, but they stopped. But like. Now, the Elemental Mech shorts, which I love, I think they're fantastic. And with Monstrosity, I think they're like seemingly banking back in on it again, which will be amazing and a lot of fun, and more of it, please. But
yeah,
it's just whether or not they want to carry on, because they need to sink the budget in. And I mean, if season 4 is anything to go off of, I think Ninjago as like the main show is getting the budget right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That you said Ninjago extended universe, though. That's pretty funny. And the world does feel a lot more vast thanks to Dragons Rising, which I got to applaud for that, because beforehand it felt like, okay, we got this mystical, magical world in the pilot's era, the pilot episodes in that whole era, I guess. I have this whole video on that it was just more like a Harry Potter, whatever type place. But then it becomes a little bit more grounded, which becomes sort of an issue because then you go from like the Digiverse to Atlantis to a mountain kingdom of elves, and everything kind of just like comes up out of nowhere and was never mentioned before. Whereas with Dragon's Rising, you already know that all of these different worlds have been fused together, so there's enough plausible deniability for whatever fantastical place they run into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To extend upon that, to extend upon like like the future Dragon's Rising that we were kind of talking about and like stuff like that. I have a hot take. I think this is a hot take because I've said this in the past and people didn't like it. So if Ninjago is gonna keep going on and never end, pretty much, it's gonna be like a Transformers thing where it just keeps going. The franchise keeps going and it doesn't stop, right? I'm all for that. Honestly, I am. Like, really. My only thing, I do want the current canon to end within some point. Not like in the next 5 years, 10 years, anything like that. But like I don't like the idea of being 60 years old and the characters are pretty much the same. Like we're in the same canon, same characters are exactly the same, you know. I don't like that idea. It's like I want like I think it'd be cool for to like explore a universe reboot at some point, you know, or like do you know like with Transformers once again, you know, we had Gen 1 and then, you know, we had reboots in the future like Transformers Prime and stuff like that. You know, don't do the comedic, don't do the stuff that don't do Rid, for example. Don't like keep it serialized, keep it cool. But, you know, like I think I definitely want to see Ninjago like evolve like in the future. Like I said, not right now, like but like, you know, I don't want to be 60 years old and Kai is the exact same character that he has been. Like he's the same character and he's like he's still like a teenager but like he's 50. you know get some new blood.
Jeez, my throat is like I sound like I've been smoking 50 packs a day. But
where'd you get that? There you go.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say now. Damn it! All right. What were we just talking about? Wait, no, I remember. So, I actually have praised Ninjago in the past for like not being like Ash Ketchum, who realistically would be 40 at this point, but is still 10. How they actually have Kai is more mature and Lloyd like actually ages and develops and stuff like that. And I want them to genuinely do that. And apparently the the season 5, when they go to the tomb, they see their future selves. That's still canon. So yeah.
I will
because
say,
I do want to bring up like one last point. Because like I don't know, and I really like the idea of looking back at like seasons 1 through 15 and then Dragon's Rising and looking back at that and being like, yeah, I remember when this was like my whole world pretty much, right? And I'd like I'd still do that, but if I'm 60 years old and we're still in the same exact canon, it's just like, oh yeah, Ninjago's still kind of like this, you know. I don't like that. I don't like the thought of that. Anyway, yeah, there you can go, Weevie.
I sit in like two worlds with that. It's like you have like the one hand where it's like, yes, I completely agree with you. If you know, if I'm pushing 70 or whatever, and you know, Lego Ninjago season 893 is coming out, and they're wheeling out Vincent Tong, you know, to get the line going. Like, yeah,
Wheeling out is crazy. That reminds me of like the character from SpongeBob that's like chocolate.
I mean, even like, you know, that reminds me of Marge from like The Simpsons, where it's like she's still doing the voice, and it's like she cannot do it anymore.
Yeah,
she can't. It's just sad. I feel sad. Like I'm not a Simpsons fan, but I just know that's like a good example of that, where it's just like I feel terrible. I mean, I feel like Vincent would still be able to do it, but like, you know, like I'd be like, man, that guy's old. Let him retire, man.
Wheeling him out like he's Joe Biden, and they have to prop him up. It's like Weekend at Bernie's.
But that's the thing, right? If we're getting the new Ninjago season, and all of the Ninjago cast needed to be put on day release to be able to do their lines, like it would be very disappointing. But the thing is that like it would be a shame to leave everything behind. But I do think in like the long term, it would need to happen. Yeah, even if it's just like a passing of torch thing. But if Ninjago wants long term, then unfortunately it will need to reset the canon at some point. Because if we're on season 59 and Wu is going, "Hey guys, there's something I never told you," I will be like, I will be on the floor, I will be done. Like that's it.
I'll be like, this darn show, we went over this 60 years ago.
Like if
I was on a podcast with two nipple twisters.
I'll be on my deathbed rolling my eyes. It's like, oh god, take me out already.
I'm gonna be on my deathbed. I'm gonna be like, my family surrounded me. It's gonna be a nice, lovely scene. I go, no, Doc, no. I need to get up. I need to make a banger commentary video about how Wu doesn't deserve to have another secret. Like it's.
I had this idea for like if they want to keep Ninjago going, some kind of mini-series type thing where it actually is kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, and that there's a different multiverse of ninja, almost kind of like Invincible variants and stuff like that with Angstrom Levy. But it kind of, there's a few different timelines where different outcomes happen. So like one of the timelines is that the Great Devourer took over. Garmadon didn't end up staying to fight it, so they had no way of destroying it, and they had to rebuild society underground. And then by the time, like, many years later, when they're able to rise up to the top of the ground, it's like monsters have already taken over the world. Kind of like a Gurren Lagann situation. And then one universe is that Kai was the Green Ninja, but the team split apart because his ego was fulfilled, and Lloyd ends up leading the Sons of Garmadon and taps into his Oni side and is really powerful. And there's all these like very different universes like that kind of get twisted and mixed around and stuff like that, which I don't think they would actually opt for something like that, but it's just an idea that I had.
Yeah, I've always loved the idea of like a Ninjago What If series. That would be so cool.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's half
Never
the
did
reason
get it, but I think it'd be awesome.
That's half the reason I do that on my channel. I love those what if scenarios. They're so fun.
I like Marvel What If. I know people don't like it, but I do.
Don't worry, I like it too. I like it too.
I like it for the oral. Like, look, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect series, and like, I hate that they brought back Sorcerer Supreme because I really love the idea of like. Real quick, Tom, do you know what I'm talking about? Real quick, do I have to fill in extra context?
I'm one of the people who did not get into What If. I did not like it.
Man.
Well, but I know but like the thing is like I love the idea of like a universe that like ceased to exist because of like Doctor Strange, and I love that. And then they brought it back, and I'm like, I mean that's fine, but like I really because it was like. If you just see that episode in a vacuum, that is such a good episode. Like the fact that like he does anything to like get his hands back and everything, and then the universe just falls apart because he tried destiny. Like that's so cool, and it ends with like the series with the screen going black and the universe is gone. That's such a cool idea. And then they brought it back, and it like, okay, I mean this is fine too, but like, oh,
brought him back
and then Marvel
multiple
Zombies
times.
Cool. Yeah, that's my problem. It's like
the Overlord again.
Yeah, somehow Sorcerer Supreme returned. I choose to watch that episode in I've only seen like season 1 and I think like half of season 2, but like I watched that episode in a vacuum because I love that episode just completely by itself. I love it.
I do like the Zombies episode, and I hear they're making a whole like spin-off series off of that. And I did like the Ultron episode because I really loved Ultron. I was one of the few Ultron, Age of Ultron fans. I love that movie.
Yeah. I
Skeletor!
do like because at least Marvel Zombies, and God, I hope they didn't go back on this, but I did like Marvel Zombies. At least had an ending, and they didn't fall back on it. You know, they had the ending where like Thanos pulled the Infinity Gauntlet out. Like I completely, it was funny because like when I was watching that episode, I completely forgot that it took place during Infinity War. And then when I got to that, I was like, yeah, maybe they'll stop the zombies. Yeah. And then they end with Thanos snapping his finger. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. So it's like, that's cool. That was a cool, like, open-ended ending. Yeah.
One Ninjago hot take that I saw. I made this one community post that was like, "Hey guys, give me your hot takes," and I think I even said in that community post like shamefully ripping off of Weevie or shamelessly ripping off Weevie or something like that because you do the hot takes thing, and I did a community post and I didn't end up making the video because I'm not gonna lie, like most of the takes there, at least like 60%, maybe 75. Or like lukewarm takes at best, I'm not gonna lie. But one hot take that I saw, which I really liked, was that Wu and like obviously early Ninjago was borrowing from a lot of like traditional East Asian aesthetics and like storytelling methods and things like that. So that's kind of why Wu and Garmadon are very old. They're fitting the old master trope when it would have made more sense for them to be middle-aged at the start of the show. That also would have worked well because there's like a weird balance between like Wu can be super badass and awesome sometimes, but other times he's like a weak, frail fighter who can barely hold his own. And also there's the fact that it just barely makes sense in the timeline with everything happening. I think Tommy Andresen said that Battle Between Brothers takes place only 10 years before the pilot episodes, which is absolutely crazy. And then you take the flashback from season 8 of Wu meeting Zane in like the forest. That couldn't have been like less than 5 years before the events of the pilot. So it's possible that Wu went from his like younger self render to old man in the span of just 5 years even. So it's just really weird, and I think like them being middle-aged would have been a great idea.
Yeah, I see that.
Deafening silence. Like, yeah, I agree. we're all
You're the host. You're the host. Segue to another topic.
My next hot take. I made an entire video about this. It's one of my favorite videos that I've made. Is that I don't like possession all that much. I feel like it's mad overrated. There's just so many small things. I can understand why it's a fan favorite. And it has a lot of things that I do like about it. I think Moro's a cool villain, and there's a lot of very quiet moments, and the banter between the four is good. The intro's amazing and whatever, but I have way too many very small problems with how it all works that it just kind of spirals and snowballs into being this bigger thing. Like, I don't really get Moro's motivation for specifically releasing the preeminent. I wish they opted for a revenge plot against the one who told him he could be the chosen one, instead of like, I'm gonna curse the world, because what good does that do, and what does that tie into his motivation? I don't like how the Cloud Kingdom was done pretty much at all. I'd say it's done better in Dragon's Rising even. It kind of cleans up that mess. Kai and Lloyd's...
Weird that they kind of retcon that. Whereas
Yeah.
like they retconned it and they were just like, oh yeah, they don't know. They just say they do. It's like, yeah, but they kind of do though.
Dragon's Rising kind of paints a picture that they influence events rather than just blatantly willing them in, which is a much stronger creative decision. I don't know. I just had too many very small things that got on my nerves to where, like, I don't hate it. I'd put it like low B tier, but in comparison, like saying that it's mid is basically, you may as well be saying that you hate it because of how much the Ninjago fandom loves it in contrast. But that's a hot take I have.
I'm sorry to say, but like other than like, I've always said that like the Oni trilogy are the best seasons of Ninjago, but Possession is my favorite, like my favorite. And like season 5 is like top 10 Ninjago season for me. I hate to say it. I think it's got the best ending to a season though. That 2-parter, man. Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah. No. That's one thing that I gave it, is that the last like 3 episodes are absolute cinema peak, just utterly amazing and awesome. But the
Yeah.
beginning of the season and like everything leading up to those 3 episodes is what's off for me.
That's fair.
I
Weevie, you were gonna say something.
I was gonna say I agree with the notion that Possession is a top 10 season, but yeah, I don't stand by the fact that it's the best offering of Ninjago. I think it's a really good season, and I have very little to actually complain about. I made a video about it as well, and I call it like damn near perfect. But I in the simple okay, I have a very weird taste when it comes to watching things. I like watching bad things because it's funny. So if you turned around to me and said, "Do you want to rewatch season 5 or do you want to rewatch season 7?" I would pick season 7 any day of the week. But the thing is that also stems into, I guess, one of my hot takes, which is I don't think season 7 is bad. I think it's fundamentally flawed. I think like it's undeniable the problems that it
Serpentine
has.
worse, but
Yeah.
Ninjago was at peace. Who would they be fighting?
They were like they were
That
off.
is that is such an amazing. I'm sorry. That is such an amazing sentence because there is like everything about that sentence is wrong. Like the Serpentine Wars, but Ninjago was at peace. How was Ninjago at peace when the Serpentine Wars were going on? Who would they be fighting? Oh, I don't know. The Serpentine. Like,
Cyrus
it's
Borg's
such a-
Borg Watch, but
Borg
no
Watch,
Cyrus
but no
Borg.
Cyrus Borg.
But no, like the thing is that like I said, fundamental flaws with the season, like absolute hard struck. Like there is no getting around it. Like like I said, like the dialogue, the animation is not the best at times. It looked like it was missing just like a final render, all of that stuff.
You think?
But that season is so fun. Like that season is
Yeah.
the jank and the charm of Ninjago, and I think it's perfect for that.
I think there's like a thing.
It is, in my opinion, the equivalent of Spider-Man 3, which is it's like a movie that fundamentally isn't the best, but personal enjoyment, it's there.
Kind of like Madam
well-
Web or Morbius, like the Sony verse.
Well, it's a good thing we're not talking about Spider-Man hot takes or anything else, because
Oh yeah, no, I have a lot. I have like a crazy amount of hot takes with Spider-Man. I love The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think are genuinely like some of the greatest in the whole franchise.
okay, if you said Amazing 1, that's fine. Amazing 2,
I love Amazing
I
Spider-Man
used
2.
But
I
the
used to
suits-
like that movie. Amazing 2 is not good. No, it is not.
I love
If
the
they remove-
It feels like there's 4 movies going on at once. That's literally what it feels like. It feels like there's an action movie, a romance movie, and all it's too much. It's too much.
If they removed Green Goblin and the whole blood plot and Harry Osborn, all of those elements of the show, it would have been, or not show, fuck, movie. It would have been.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that would have been awesome. I also don't really. I like No Way Home, but I don't think it's good, and I don't like Far From Home.
Whoa.
So Far From Home, I get it, but No Way Home's a good movie. I get it because like everybody's like, oh, it's just a nostalgia fest. No, it's not. There's an actual movie going on here. Like there is. Like the nostalgia just props it up. I'm just saying, man.
There kind of is.
This
It's just,
We'll
I,
go on for
when I-
hours.
the
Alright,
last
guys,
thing I'll say on
Spider-Man
No Way
podcast.
Home, I guess. Spider-Man. Alright, my
I really
throat
hope.
keeps- Bash.
I really hope the new one's good. I really hope the new one's good. Just wanted to throw that out there. Like,
I don't think it will
I think
be.
It will be.
I don't think it will be, just
I
because
think
the
it
marketing
will.
marketing
That's true.
material has been so lackluster that I feel like they're embarrassed of what they have in the vaults.
I disagree. I think Brand New Day is looking great. That first trailer, I'm looking forward to it.
But I do love Daredevil and Punisher so much that I'll probably enjoy it. But the last thing I'll say,
Well, one more thing. Like Tom Holland seems pretty like excited for it. Like he's pretty hype because like he could be lying, but also like I feel like if you didn't want to say that, you would just not say anything. Like that's what I do. It's like I wouldn't lie. I would just not say like I'm not gonna try to say like a bad movie's good because that's a stain on my reputation. I would just say nothing. I would just be like, yeah, I think we did a good job. That's it.
It just
yeah.
that just reminds me of I don't remember which one it is specifically. I think it's Fan Four Stick, but the Fantastic Four movie that
Yeah.
like the day
No, I
before the
know.
movie came out, the director went on Twitter and
Yes.
was like, "Hey guys, the movie that's
Yeah,
releasing tomorrow kind of sucks." Like, how are
Yeah, I
you?
know.
it was-
Literally, like hours before that movie came out, the guy that made it came out and was like, "Yeah, by the way, this movie stinks. This isn't what I wanted to make. What I wanted to make was good. This is bad. All right, see ya. Bye."
it was Josh Trank who did that.
Well,
And Josh
Yeah.
Trank like proved himself with Chronicle. Chronicle's one of the like greatest movies of all time. And so he was set to direct Fant4stic, and he wanted to make it more of like a body horror thing. But apparently he was so rude on set that like originally he was offered to do some spin-off Star Wars show, but they retracted the offer because of the horror stories from how Josh Trank was on set. He got in fights with the actors and all the people, and they didn't want to fire him, but eventually they had to kind of boot him from the project lightly. So then they got Jeremy Slater, some other dude, onto Fant4stic who like had a completely different vision for what it was supposed to be. And they had to do like half the movie was reshoots, and Kate Mara had like shaved off her hair, so she was wearing a blonde wig in the reshoots, and it's very noticeable. Miles Teller had grown facial hair and didn't even bother to shave it off, so in the reshoots, he just, in half of the scenes, he has like facial hair, and half of them he doesn't. But
I need to watch Fan4stic. I've never seen it, and like I'm a lot like Weevie, where it's like when I hear something is terrible, I want to watch it even more than good. Like if you told me that like something is really really good, I'd be like, yeah, I'll get to it at some point. But if you told me something is really really bad, I'm like, oh, I need to see that. I want to see. I want to see this.
Fant4stic is my favorite bad movie of all time because I loved it when I was a kid, and I can't even imagine why. It has like a single-digit score on Rotten Tomatoes, and that is well deserved. Like it is terrible, but
My favorite thing about the movie, because this is literally like one of the only things I know about the movie, is that like it's clobbering time. You know, the Thing's catchphrase. To add like depth to it, they gave it like a thing of like, oh, it was actually from a bully, and it's like, come on, why
it was
is this
his-
here?
it was his brother who would beat him and say it's clobbering time while beating him, which is crazy.
I'm gonna take this phrase and I'm gonna turn it into a positive. It's like, bro, come on, this is bad. This is so bad.
Josh Trank tweeted out right before the movie something like, a year ago, I had a perfect vision of what the movie was supposed to be. You'll never see that one though. That's reality, or something like that. Like an action movie, an 80s action movie line or something like that.
He
Yeah.
tried to be Zack Snyder
Right.
before the Zack Snyder Justice League cut.
Oh yeah.
His filmmaking is kind of like Snyder's, but I don't know. I love Chronicles so much. If you guys like, it's funny because Fant4stic is like bottom tier fun bad garbage. Actually, I don't know. It's kind of boring bad, whatever. Whereas Chronicles like top tier might make my letterbox top 4, to be honest.
Damn.
Anyway, back to the jargons.
Back to Ninjago. One thing I wanted to say too was that I don't think Hands of Time is necessarily the worst season. That still, in my opinion, goes to the fire chapter of season 11 specifically. I like the ice chapter, but the fire chapter was so like bad.
Krusty just shivered.
You almost and you almost had like I was with you in the first half. I'm a defender of season 11 a little bit. Like it's not great. I do agree with that, but like I really like, and like Snake Catastrophe. I know people hate that episode. I love that episode. That episode is so good. I love it.
I
I have too much
I have a
dimension to
very-
keep track of like specific episodes. Anyway, go
That's
on.
the
Weevy.
one where the snakes talk. That's the one where the snakes talk to the news.
Oh, yeah. I have like a
Anyway.
I do also consider myself to an extent a season 11 defender. But I've always caveated it with the fact that the fire chapter is severely carried by the ice chapter. I think the ice chapter is like really solid. I have a lot of fun with the ice chapter, and if it wasn't, attached by an umbilical cord to the fire chapter, I'd probably like it more, and I would probably like the fire chapter less if it was its own thing. But it's not that it's bad. I've come round to it in recent years, but there was definitely a time where season 11 was my least favorite. But I would say, as it stands, my least favorite is in my opinion, there's no bad Ninjago season. The biggest criminal offense of a Ninjago season for me is it being boring, and that's why I would give it to either Prime Empire or Seabound, which I guess is
Mine's
my hot
Skybound.
take.
Wait, Seabound?
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
I have had it.
I'm just gonna go out on a
like
limb.
Skybound.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say
Mine's
it's a
Skybound.
British thing because he's the only British person in this call, and he's the only one who doesn't like Seabound.
No, it's
Well, mine's good.
Seabound suffers from having like a solid opening, a really good ending, but a boring and forgettable middle section. Like there is a certified nothing going on in the middle of Seabound, in my opinion, and it's to the extent of I could give you a detailed account of basically every Ninjago season apart from Seabound, no matter how much I try. Like you could threaten my life and just say you can survive if you tell me what happens in Seabound episode 9, and I would go, yeah, I'm gone, dog. Like that's it.
To be fair, I love Seabound, and like I said, I just have dementia where I don't remember hyper
I
specific
think
like
so.
episodes.
It's
So if somebody's like
Yeah.
episode 9, I'm not gonna know what they're talking about, even if it's like a season that I love.
Yeah.
It's just there's just nothing going on, and I don't know. Like put on.
Can I run by?
Oh, go on.
Good. No. Well, okay. Just one thing I wanted to mention. Did you ever realize that in Seabound they kind of imply that Titanic happened?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
I didn't think about that either, and I was like, I just saw that in the thing, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that.
It
Ninjago
was caused
national
by
tragedy.
Kalmar.
You do know what happens when someone says a vessel is unsinkable, right? Well, it doesn't sink, of course. It's like-
It was Kalmar who sunk the Titanic. That's actually in real life too. That's what happened. Merlopia is real.
I have a banger tweet, and for those of you that are coming, both that have made it this far into the panel or podcast, whatever we're gonna call this, you get a sneak peek. All right, I have a tweet scheduled. Where was Kalmar on the date the Ocean Gate sub? Where was he? Where was he at? Where was he?
I remember back when there was a period where I stopped watching Ninjago just because I was like going off to college and I was trying to find a job and I was just way too busy and stuff. So I kind of missed some of the Wild Brain era. I also just didn't really care for some of the Wild Brain era stuff, so I was just like put it on hiatus for a while. And then right in I want to say like 2023 when the like submersible thing had just happened a couple months before. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember if this happened before or after the Ocean Gate thing, but I saw that episode where Wu comes up and says like, "Hey, don't you have that submersible?" And either Zane or Pixel says something like, "I do, but it's untested. We haven't tested it yet." And Wu says, "It's about to be tested." And I was like, "Holy crap, no way."
Oh no!
Clearly, Kalmar like really doesn't like Logitech, and he was just like, "I'm gonna make sure those dudes never recover because then they're searching the wreckage and the perfect Logitech controller on the ocean floor is just waiting."
They still have it,
To be
by
fair,
the way.
watch it.
Like they still have it up at like I saw it like on display at a thing, and I'm like, that's gotta be awkward to have still on display. Like it wasn't. It's no people talk about that. I don't want to get too into this because like I'm actually this is like the submarine is like a big autistic hyperfixation I have. I've seen like the Netflix documentary like 7 times. I'm not even joking with you.
Damn.
But the thing about the controller is like that was actually the best thing they probably had on that thing. Because like the sub was so bad, but that was probably because. And the thing is, it survived the implosion. Like if you look at the photos of it, it survived. It made it. Like I'm saying, like if you want to show the controller's durability, there you go. Like that's all I'm saying.
I will caveat and say like if Logitech did like lean in on the bit and like has like a screen grab, a screen grab of the controller on the ocean floor with the caption "We assure quality," I would I would respect them for it. I would buy some
I was
stocks.
gonna say that. I was gonna say, like, imagine they used it for advertising. That would be so morbid.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, no, they definitely can't. But
It,
I do like the
it
idea.
was just the fact of the day that the sub lost contact or however the timeline went. It was the fact that like that day on Twitter, I was seeing videos of people like overlaying the image of the sub with the PS4 controller disconnect sound, and it was like it was killing me off. I was like, how are you guys this quick? How do you guys just have that ready to go? They,
Okay, anyway, back to
like genuine like tragedy happening in real time, and there were people on Twitter just going, I got one. Like that's how it felt.
Wait, just to get your opinion on this, what do you think is the worst season of Ninjago? Because, yeah, I didn't hear yours. Because Weevie just said it's either Prime Empire or Seabound. For me, it was the Fire chapter. What about you?
it's Skybound, 1000%. I
Forgot about
used to
Skybound.
love Skybound. I don't anymore. I don't like Skybound. Like not even any like. Let's not even bring up Nauticon. Let's not even bring
True.
that up. As an adult, I view that in a completely different way. Everybody bringing that up, and just everything else. I don't know. Skybound, like I hate the worst. Skybound is the worst of the love triangle, and Cole's not even involved in it. Like for one,
Bro.
is like that is where the love triangle got insufferable because Jay acted like a complete idiot the entire season, and Nauticon, again, separating everything, is just a terrible villain to begin with. I don't think he's cool. He acts cool, and he's like, "Oh, I've got all these calculations and everything," and it's like, dude, you ain't, no, I don't get it. I don't like it.
One thing I hate about Skybound and like Nauticon in particular, especially, is the way that they did the power scaling. So that sometimes he seems to just be able to do whatever and appear wherever and teleport and materialize anything, but then sometimes he'll need other people to do like the most basic, simple things ever, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I see that. It's ugh.
It's just a very difficult season to acknowledge now. Like I've been
Yeah.
going through and doing a video on every single season of Ninjago, and there's a reason why that like I did Possession probably like 2 months ago now, and there's a reason why I've only got the title for Skybound done, which is and for reference, the title of the video is going to be something along the lines of I don't want to talk about Skybound.
Yeah, I get that.
Like it's
Wait.
that's just it.
Cole made a video like that. I remember Cole made some video ranting because you're doing like the Lego DS game or like Lego video games kind of in order.
the
the
like,
Ninjago games.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and you made an entire video talking about how you didn't want to talk about one of the games. You just wanted to get to
Yeah,
Shadow.
it was Nidroids, yeah. Because I tried to I played that game in October of the previous year. I didn't get that video out till April because like I played the game, and when I got done playing it, I felt nothing. I had no thoughts, no feelings, nothing. I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play the whole game again. I'm just gonna play the whole game front to back, all over again, and then maybe I'll come up with something. I didn't want to. I was just dreading it because I was like, it's not that it's a bad game. I still don't consider it a bad game, but there's just nothing to it. I got nothing to say. I've got nothing.
It's the video game of all
I just
time.
gave up. I just gave up and was like, I don't want to. I give up reviewing Ninjago Nintroids. That was the title of the video. Just like, I don't care anymore, man. Just get it out. Send it.
It is a video game of all time.
Yup. It is fine. It is fine. It is fine.
Shadow of Ronin, here we come.
Yeah.
Another another hot take I'll give is that actually I don't know if this is like necessarily such a hot take. I've heard other people have the same opinion, but Dragon's Rising is the best that Jay has ever been, and probably also like close to the best that Nia has ever been. I always felt like throughout Ninjago there was kind of an imbalance in their dynamic where Jay was always fawning over Nia, and most of his arcs have to do with Nia, and he can't do anything without thinking about Nia, whereas Nia is not seen like visibly caring about him as much. I know that the writers confirmed that Jay's love language is like words of affirmation and affection and stuff like that, whereas Nia's are silent acts of kindness. But just looking at it on screen, it always felt imbalanced. It kind of felt like he was always longing after her and she just didn't really care. It was like very nonchalant. But then in Dragon's Rising, it really shows what Jay meant to Nia, and it actually does feel like a more balanced relationship. But also, Jay gets real development and he actually does things of importance, which he hasn't done in so long.
Yeah,
I would
I definitely agree with that.
I would agree, but also one thing about Nia and Jay is that both of them, yeah, they've definitely been intertwined when it comes to Ninjago. The seasons that they have that allows them to be their own character, like I would say Seabound for Nia, and I would say Prime Empire for Jay, which is ironic because they're my least favorites. But they're allowed to succeed, which I do think is good, but they do obviously end up all coming back together. Dragon's Rising definitely was good for making them both feel more like their own, but I think we need both sides. As long as they continue to adapt on what they've got going, I think it's going to be great. But there's definitely a case of they've had like now their arcs where they're on their own, they're solo. I would like to see the two of them now have a little more together, because it's been years when it comes to Jay and Nia now.
Any other hot takes that are just burning on your chest right now to get off before we move on to the next topic?
I think so.
No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. So first, let's have a word from our sponsor. I don't really have a sponsor. I just couldn't think of a better way to segue into the next topic.
I was about to say, wait.
So,
Wait.
so the Ninjago
Raid Shadow Legend.
NordVPN.
right.
VPN.
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So the Lego Ninjago live-action movie, this was confirmed to be in production at Universal not long after Universal obtained the rights to Lego film production. And it's apparently being written by the Hagman brothers, and I've heard just a rumor that it's supposed to focus on the pilots. And, obviously Tom Holland is Lloyd, The Rock is Cole, Aquafina is Nia. Actually, if Aquafina is younger, I could kind of see that. I've always imagined Kai and Nia being Asian. I don't know. What are you guys' opinions on the Ninjago race character question? Is that even a conversation you guys touch with a 10-foot pole, or no?
I don't. I just don't want to touch it.
My thing is just very simple. Just go with the Fortnite, like what they did for Fortnite. I think it's perfect. I mean, we don't have Nia or anything yet, but they've been doing good so far. And it's like if that's what they say it is, that's what it is. Like, go for it.
That's fair. I in my, I guess, headcanon or whatever, Kai and Nia are Asian. Zane can be whatever. It doesn't really matter. Cole is Native American. I heard one guy on Shorts come up say that, and I think it's so true. Jay is white.
What are you talking about? Cole is white and Chinese, half white and Chinese.
Oh,
I want to say Lloyd is white, but like Wu and Garmadon seem more, I guess, Asian, and Misako kind of sounds like a Asian name. Maybe he's Wasian. Like, I don't know, but that's just my opinion on the whole race question. If it's really going to start off with the pilots, then I hope that it's some trilogy that goes pilots to some kind of hybrid between seasons 1 and 8, and then the third movie's kind of like seasons 8 and 9 in some way, not like literally, just balancing.
I was gonna say that's a lot to cover. That's a lot of plot.
Not like a literal sense, like they're doing SAO level time skips, but just balancing those arcs and like tones of the Oni trilogy, because I've always said and felt like seasons 8 and 9 were everything that season 2 so desperately wanted to be. And I feel like there's a way they could rearrange the plot to carry something like that into a movie trilogy. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like the idea of like them treat if they're gonna like essentially remake like Ninjago seasons kind of. I think it'd be cool if they like went in with like making Ninjago sort of like if they knew it was gonna go on for a little bit longer. So like, you know, we can have more plot maybe that's set up more things and all that. But I've always have a bit of like a hot take with it because like I know a lot of people and I understand it that are like a live action Ninjago movie that is so stupid and I'm like I don't think so because I'm gonna say all right because
Strong
I don't
opinion there.
yeah because I don't see Ninjago as a thing that only needs to be in Lego. I think it is big enough to where it can do its own thing, right? And I would love for like an animated Ninjago movie, absolutely. But the thing is that we as a general, well, not we, because I ain't involved, but like the general audience would rather be shot in the foot than watch an animated movie in theaters, unless it's by Illumination for some reason. Then they'll like line up and see it. But anyway, but
Yeah.
so if this is a way of getting like a Ninjago movie, that's fine, whatever. Like, and it's like I don't hate the idea of like a quote unquote serious live action movie. I think that's cool. I'd like to see them like see how it goes. And I know the idea is stupid when you first hear it, but again, when you think about it, it's the same thing as like making Sonic into live action or you know anything like that. It's like I don't view it as like them turning Lego Ninjago into live action. I see them turning Ninjago into live action. So this is how
I
I
was
see
gonna
it. So I'm
I was
pretty
gonna bring
excited.
that up too. The Sonic movies is that like beforehand, back in the 2000s and 2010s, if you heard that your favorite like series or whatever was getting a movie adaptation, that'd be like hearing that your parents divorced. Like it was not funny.
Yeah.
But now,
No.
I feel like the 2020s, we've kind of they kind of realized, hey, if you let the actual creators have input instead of these like big suits, they might make something that people genuinely enjoy. So I've been a D1 hater of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but they let the
Yeah.
guy who made the games make the movie, so and people enjoyed it for whatever strange reason. The
I
Sonic
just
the
wish he could write. I'm sorry. I just wish he could write, man. He can't do it. He
Yeah,
can't
no,
do it.
real. And then Fallout live action, like Fallout was amazing. Sonic was
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Fallout, dude. Fallout's
Movies.
so good. Yo,
Yeah, the
sorry. Can I
Sonic.
throw out a quick line? Can I throw out a quick line from Five Nights at Freddy's? It's my favorite line in the movie.
Here, wait, let me guess what it
Mike,
is. Let me guess what it is. It's
go for it.
either gonna be the symmetry, my friend, or like something like that.
No, my favorite is Mike. Is it? It's Michael. Actually, that I paused the movie. I paused the movie and just like laughed because I was like, "You cannot be serious, bro."
It's
That is
Michael.
like that is the joke line. Like that is like it's Michael actually.
Actually,
Actually. All right.
to be
Anyway,
fair to
I
his
just want
credit, he sounds like a Five Nights at Freddy's theorist.
yeah.
Actually, it's not the bite of
Actually.
87, it's the nibble of 96 or something. I don't know what they got down the lore.
Also unrelated, but I also love him at the end of the movie when he's just out of nowhere. He's just like, I don't remember what he said. He's like, kill them, break their bones. It's like- anyway, all right, we keep getting off track. Anyway,
Anyway, so what I was just getting at is just that the live action Mortal Kombat was good, Fallout, Sonic, the Mario animated movies, I enjoyed them. They're fun. I don't know if I'd say like great necessarily, but they're fun.
yeah,
And they
sure.
so I think like in the modern era, I'm far less scared of hearing of like that an adaptation is happening.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm a little worried about is because this isn't what people need to remember is that this is like the fourth movie that they are developing in like a full live action Lego lineup. And it's like, what are the other movies? So are we going to get like a live action Lego City adaptation? Like, are they
Please.
different? You know, yeah, I think that'd be interesting, but It depends how those go. If those come out and those are trash, then I'm not gonna have as much faith in the Ninjago movie because I'm like, oh no. But we'll see.
You guys have any casting picks that you really desperately want? Like, I want small actors that I don't even know the damn name of, but
I do too. I unfortunately do not know as many actors as I should, especially like that are Asian that I would want in the movie. Unfortunately, so I'm not as well versed in that. I wish I did, but I'm not.
I
racist.
I hate to say
Although
it.
I will say one thing. There was, I don't want this, but there was a Photoshop of Jack Black as Garmadon, and I think it's really funny. I like it. I like it.
I
I made this one Photoshop when they
am
first announced the
Garmadon.
Ninjago live action, and it was Michael Keaton as Garmadon, which if he wasn't old as dust, I would think is like a fine-ish choice. But
I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but I would find it really cool if Jackie Chan reprises his role as Wu. Because I think his delivery as Wu in the Ninjago movie was really funny, and I kind of want that again.
The only problem is like I've heard like Jackie Chan is not a good guy. From what I've found out some stuff that he is not
Oh,
a good
really?
guy. So
no, he's not. Isn't he like
yeah,
abandoned
no, if
her for being like lesbian or something, or was that somebody else?
transgender, I believe, but yeah, he is not a good guy.
Oh,
If he was in, I'd separate art from the artist. But if it was up to me and be like, oh, should we get Jackie Chan? No, I'd say no.
yeah, I retract my comment. Yeah,
Yeah, real quick, real quick. Look in the Discord.
Oh my god.
Absolute cinema.
Like honestly, like I don't hate Garmadon that much. Like it looks dumb, it does, but like I don't hate it.
Garmadon with a
The
beard.
worst part,
Yeah.
the worst part is that they probably would actually unironically choose Jack Black. Jack Black has been kind of grinding my gears just because he's been in literally everything ever recently. He cannot turn down a casting role to save his life.
Who is this again? Tom Holland or Robert Downey Jr.? Which one was it?
Both of them are there in that photo.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
with Jack Black, the thing about him is that I think at some point in the in the timeline, he realized that people found him funny just for existing, and I think he just kind of ran with it. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I do think, in a Minecraft movie, I do think he's quite funny. Whether it's ironic or not, I'm not entirely certain.
This is a crafting table.
Yeah, but like I think I think a lot of companies are hiring him under the precedent that they could also get another chicken jockey type moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I love the idea. I would not want this at all, but I love the thought of a Minecraft movie like for Ninjago. It's like, this is the sword of fire. It's the
Dragon sort of fire. Yeah.
These are the merged realms.
Skull can fight.
Skull.
Skulking.
Skull. Crap. Serpentine.
Serpent.
There's something I haven't told you.
There's something I haven't told you.
This is Moro's body.
Spinjitzu.
Oh my god.
You'll have to let go of your problems, and it's like a plug for Lego.
As like gradually on the screen they bring up one of the new Lego sets. You can
Get out your bricks. Let's make
Then at
like Ninja. This is Ninja, and here we go.
First we ninja,
post-credit.
then we go.
Then we
Let's
go.
ninja go.
Ninja go.
The post-credit scene is like, I bet that if it is the pilots, like what they're adapting into live action, the post-credit scene is going to be young Lloyd walking on the snowy hill, being like, "Oh, I'll show them all," and then he opens the serpentine tomb, and then that's when it like cuts. But
Yes.
it'd be really funny if
That's-
it's like the post-credit scene is like Nick Fury being like, "The Avengers Tower could use some ninja, some ninjutsu."
The ninja will return in
You.
Avengers Doomsday.
You are the chosen one.
We're gonna get a scene where like they pan over to Jack Black and he's wearing the golden armor like really like weirdly like the diamond armor in the movie. He's just gonna have this like really oversized armor and these like massive like shoulder pads.
He gets the four. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but 4 arms. He just has the 4 arms. Now.
Yeah, that's gonna look so weird in live action. I bet, honestly.
They're
They'll
very,
probably do CGI and it'll look even weirder.
they're very clearly
Yeah.
like fake arms, and you can see the little piece of string attached to the underside of Jack Black's arms, where he just moves them all in synchronous like they're duck wings.
Also, like a thing about asking for like there being a live action movie of every season. I don't really know how I'd feel about that because that's so
Then you
many movies, and
Yeah,
it becomes
you just be
like,
remaking.
serious
You
thing.
just
and-
be remaking like all the seasons, and it's like we don't need that. I would say, here's what I would do. Let's say that they just want to keep this going. I'd say let's do seasons 1 and 2, 3. You could do 4 because I think season 4 would make a great movie. I think Tournament of Elements would be an awesome movie setting, right?
True.
As much as I love season 5, you could skip it. There's like you could skip it. It's not that important. Season 6, definitely skip. Hands of Time, sure. Oh jeez.
I made these in what is it? Character make. I forget what it's called. It's like I don't know if it uses AI. It's been around before, generative AI.
It kind of looks like it, but I don't know.
It's been around since before
I-
like generative AI got this good. But
I don't know
forget what the-
anymore, dude.
Oh.
I don't know this by it, but like I see art sometimes and I have to look at it for a minute and just be like, is that AI? Like I don't even know for sure if it is, but it's like it has that thing to it. You know what I mean? Where it's like you look at it, it's like it's probably fine, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But especially with that kind of looks like AI to me. But I don't know.
But basically, the most accurate ones, in my opinion, that I made are Garmadon and Cole look the best here. And I'll put all these things on screen when we bring them up. So when you're like, look in the chat what was sent, I'll like put these on screen.
Yeah.
Funnily,
But I would say like, so do the pilot for the first movie. See if you can like kind of bridge season 1 and 2 into one movie. Reboot it as a third movie. Tournament Elements 4. And then just kind of skip. Yeah, I think a Serpentine Wars movie would be cool. Like a movie based on the Serpentine Wars. I think that'd be awesome. And then finish off with the Oni trilogy. Do the Oni trilogy in one movie. I think that'd be fine. Like, well, I
Whoa,
don't know.
one
maybe a
movie.
two-part. Maybe a two-parter. Maybe like a
I agree
two-parter.
with that.
Yeah.
So if they just like made the first realm different, where they actually run into the Oni there just as much as the dragon, that'd be good.
Yep.
I think
We'll see. I'm good.
I was just gonna say, I think like one of the more interesting things that can come from the live action movies is that, well, obviously depending on whether or not they do multiple, is that it could provide a lot of hindsight when it comes to the Ninjago timeline. Like you know, the main example I can think of here is the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. Is that they've almost cleared up some information, but also not, just by simply having those movies. So if there's one thing that we could take from live action adaptations, is that they will be done with consideration of later seasons. So it would definitely serve as a great way to clarify things that, you know, in recent time have become a bit muddy, which I do think would just be really nice, to put it simply.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got a notification that says clipping is enabled. Your voice might be recorded. Now one of you guys is a spy. I think it's the Brit. I think it,
Wait. No.
No.
Britain is we got the good Ninjago YouTubers. We got Krusty. We got AL123.
We got the good ones. We don't have bag D tier, low tier ones like you two heathens.
We got.
least we don't got them school shootings.
Well, at least our schools aren't Call of Duty.
You could just say that in your normal voice. You don't even need to put on a voice for that.
You're British and yet you're acting British.
Listen. Hey, look. I don't know. Tea and crumpets in it.
Tea and crumpets, isn't it?
Guess the next thing I would. Do you have any more input on the live action movie?
Just that for me, as it stands with the Ninjago movie, it is just simply a case of I have yet to really form a full opinion on it because we just simply know nothing. Like, they announced that they were making the movie, and, since then we've been knocking at the door of Universal being like, can you tell us anything? Like, can you give us some movie with our announcement, please? Like, it's...
Which I do want to throw that out, is that people keep asking about stuff like that, and I get it, but we do need to remember, like I said before, this is 1 in 5 or something like that, movies. So we're probably going to hear about the other ones first. So I would say don't expect any news until after the first one. Like, because I'm pretty sure it'll come out after those. So
Well, also,
we haven't heard anything. Yeah.
Pre-production is like a waiting room hell. Like, if a movie gets announced, like if it just gets simply announced, unless it's a sequel or something like that, you should wait at least 5 years before demanding info on it, because like it takes, so the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, for example, had like 8 years. A lot of, even like the earlier Marvel movies had a long waiting period. They have these ridiculously long ones. The Death Note live action movie from 2017 goes as far back as being in early development in 2008.
Excuse me. Okay. A Minecraft movie was actually like in pre-production for like 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like, I think it was 2015. So
yeah, it was 2014, I believe.
Pre-production is always thing. So like maybe like if like the Lego movie were to get approved, like to move on to like main production before all the other ones, then maybe we'll hear about it first. But I think, like, I would expect us to hear about the other ones first before we hear about the Ninjago movie.
They're gonna make a live action Lego Batman movie instead of just making.
Why? just make a Batman movie.
I'm just making this up. Like, I'm not saying this is actually happening, but
no. Like, actually, it was like. But it's like I've thought about that. It's like, because I'm trying to think of like, what are franchises like Lego could, like, they could do. So
live action Clutch Powers,
live action Legends, dude. It'd be so ballsy because I don't know if y'all know this, but the Adventures of Clutch Powers technically ends on a cliffhanger, and people have actually been waiting for it for a while. If they make a live action sequel to that, that'd be funny. People would hate it, but it'd be funny. I think it'd be really funny if they did it.
I remember when they mentioned Clutch Powers in season 1, I was watching them air live on Cartoon Network, the episodes, and me and my dad were like, holy crap, they mentioned him or whatever. And then in season 11, he comes in as like the most washed up person ever, and he's such a static of a character, and it sucks.
I like him though. Like, I mean, I don't have as much nostalgic connection to the Adventures of Clutch Powers. I actually watched the movie to like learn about it. It's like I could see him turning into how he is in Ninjago. I see it. I don't know.
I made a video about it.
Yeah, I did too. Kinda.
But no,
I reviewed the movie and then talked about his character. Like, kinda. Yeah.
I do think though, to circle back around to what I was like to the point I was gonna make. I just think, as it stands, like, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of mixed emotions about the concept of the live action movie, and I'm all for it, but I just like, to me, as a like, my personal philosophy is that, like, yes, it's been announced, but until I see a trailer, until I see some sort of teaser about it, until I see something tangible, it doesn't exist to me in a way. It doesn't,
Yeah.
because it could be, it could be canned tomorrow. It could be gone, and there'll be nothing we could do about it. So I just think, as it stands, there's nothing to really grasp about it. We can talk about whether or not it should be adapted into live action, and that's a whole other discussion. But in terms of the day that we sit down and we watch the Lego Ninjago movie live action, there's just simply not much we can really comment on.
Which I'm gonna throw out there. Listen, I don't care if it's bad, and I'm being totally 1,000% serious here. Lego, you better invite me to that premiere. At least me. At least these losers, whatever. But me, I need to go to the premiere. All right, I need to invite. I'll go. I'll pay whatever is necessary. I'll take the flight to LA. I'll do it. I'll go.
Lego, if you're
You
not
better
flying,
invite me.
Lego, if you're not flying me out, we're gonna have words.
You better invite me to the premiere. I want to be on the carpet. I want to take the picture. I want to be there. I don't care if it's bad. I'll be there. I want to be a part of it.
This is. Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, I want the Ninjago movie premiere to have just one big group shot of a ton of Ninjago YouTubers. It needs to happen.
I had that thought. I love the idea of like a bunch of Ninjago tubers like getting together and taking I thought about us getting like colored suits, not like ninja suits, like tuxedo, like that kind of suits, and like they could all coordinate to a certain color of the ninja. So like I would wear brown, obviously, because I'd be like black. The jacket would be black, and like maybe the shirt could be brown or something like that. And then like someone could do like a J color scheme. Someone could do Nia. If we've covered all the ninja, PK can be Pixel because duh, we can work it out. Well, like it would be awesome. It would be such a aura shot.
See me pull up
Wait,
in the gold suit.
I'm gonna send something. I might throw this up on screen for the viewers at home, but I got this jacket recently it's one of the hidden elements ones of like Lloyd. I look like a femboy in this picture, but like the
I mean, it looks good though.
Yeah, that's what I would wear to the premiere.
I can't unsee what you said about the photo now. It's the one of you looking up. It's killing me off.
Tab it. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of agree with Weevie's take on this, that when something is in pre-production, or like once you just have a blatant like announcement and that's it, you should treat it as though it doesn't exist, because it could get canned at any moment, and it undergoes like so many changes. But I don't know, sometimes it can be fully legit. Like I remember one time when I was in this internet horror forum back in it was either like 2015 or 2016, and I knew this one guy who said they had like insider information on a Halloween reboot that they were going to make. They were gunning for 2018 because that was the like 40-year anniversary of the movie, and he was laying out all these details that Michael Myers is going to break out again, and his mask is going to be more decrepit, and it's going to be all this and that, and Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back and plays somewhat of like a vigilante, like has all these weapons, like, and pretty much everything he said about the movie was correct when it came out years later, except for one thing. And oh yeah, he also said that they planned to make either a duology or trilogy off of that, which did end up happening. But one thing that he said that was actually wrong was he said that they were going to set up Laurie Strode to have a granddaughter, and the granddaughter was going to become the next killer. And at the very end of Halloween 2018, the granddaughter's holding a knife that she stabbed Michael Myers with, and it's bloody. And the camera zooms into her like holding that knife, into the knife itself, as if they were going to go for that, but I guess they just never did, because in Halloween Kills and Ends, they just didn't do that plot.
Yeah, they could have just cut that out. Like, yeah, like maybe they were going to do that and then they can't delete it and cut it out, or whatever. So that's possible.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Yeah.
I guess we should wrap up the next 10 minutes, because in 10 minutes from now, or
Wait,
12 minutes, it will have been 3 hours.
Yeah. Wait, real quick. I do want to throw out. I do agree that yeah, don't act like it exists, because we know nothing about it and it's in pre-production and all that. I think it's fine to talk about the potential, but there is a double-edged sword with that, because the one thing that I think is bad about them announcing this movie so early and us knowing about it is that our expectations are getting pretty high right now.
Yeah.
Because like we're thinking about it and we're like, ooh, how would I do it? That's why I haven't really made a video about it, because I've thought about it, like discussing like what I think about it, like what I would do, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to spark, expectations and, them not be met. And it's like, yeah, I think it's best not to talk about it until we actually hear some like concrete information about it and like, where our expectations are supposed to go. Like I said, I think it's totally fine to think about like the potential of where it could go, but it should end there. I think you should not be like, oh yeah, I want the movie to be like this and that. And it's like, yeah, definitely don't do that. Because you probably aren't going to get what you want.
Even so, like I said that they would, I heard a rumor about them starting with the pilots, but that could also change, because when you hear information that early on, usually it does change.
I could honestly see myself not actively discussing it on my channel until a trailer.
Yeah.
I could see.
Man, we're coming up on 2 years that being announced, by the way. Oh my god. Like,
Well, exactly.
It was,
Like,
announced it was announced Halloween 2024. That's not a joke. October 31st, 2024.
I remember I was at a Halloween party, and I was actually dressed as Jay, ironically enough. But I was at a Halloween party and I saw the news and I was telling people about it, and nobody at this party was like, knew much about Ninjago, and they were like, "Isn't that a Lego show?" Everybody was like kind of drunk. They're like, "How are you even gonna put that to live action?" I was like, "I don't know, man, but I'm pretty excited. It could be terrible Minecraft movie tier. It could be awesome. Either way,
I'll see it regardless. Like, I mean, I'm part of the problem, but like, I'll go see it. Whatever. I'll make a video on it regardless. So.
I can now vision Tom at the Halloween party, like one hand on the wall, like hand on hip, going, "Yeah, so my favorite golden weapon is the shurikens of ice. What's yours?" And they walk off. It's just, and that's it.
It's like the Scott Pilgrim bit. It's just like, have you ever heard of the shurikens of ice? Have you ever heard of the nunchucks of lightning?
That's basically me talking to chicks. Like, I don't know. That's my game. That's my strategy right there.
I really do think there will be a time when Ninjago will be the cool thing. If it keeps going and if it keeps up the quality, like I think it'll be the cool thing where it's referencing shows like that at some point. Like there will be, maybe with Scott Pilgrim, maybe like Scott Pilgrim will just start talking about Ninjago. Maybe one day it'll happen. Maybe it'll be cool.
Goes back to the party points again, like Tom's lawyer, walking up to a woman, just going, "I've been around Ninjago since its very beginning. Tom's lawyer, pleasure to meet you." Like it's gonna be.
What are you the lawyer? He's like, "What are you the lawyer of?"
Here's my business card. Like, no, I've been asked that before. Like, who is Tom and what did he do? And honestly, the reason how I came up with that username, was really stupid. I was in college, I was pursuing a career in criminal justice. I wanted to be a paralegal because, like, lawyers, too many responsibilities. Paralegal still gets paid handsomely, and they don't do like a whole lot. So I was really involved in that. I was actually acing my criminal justice and criminal psychology classes. I had like 100%, which that's probably a big red flag on my part if you have 100% criminal psychology. But anyway, so that was really good. But then there came times in that class where I had to thoroughly research cases like I forget her name if it's I don't want to say her name in case this is wrong. It was like some case of a woman in Texas who had gotten like really close with this weird fundamentalist Catholic dude who like was saying really Catholic things. There's some Catholics out there who are very stern about baptism, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's better for your kid to die like baptized than to live like what not repentant. So, some crap like that. And she ended up drowning all 5 of her kids, and it was a disgusting, horrifying story. We learned about it because we were learning about insanity pleas and how they work. And she pled guilty not guilty by reason of insanity and was found like that and has remained in a mental institution to this day. But the story was so shocking and disgusting and horrifying that I was like, if I have to take this career path as a paralegal, I would undeniably have to like, go and research these things to see that they happen, because a paralegal has to go over evidence and put together like hear victim story. That could imply me watching, for example, sexual abuse on camera to like make sure that it happened for the court, which I don't want to subject myself to something like that. So I hopped off of that career path, but I came up with the name Tom's Lawyer while I was there, and it just like stuck. Anyway, I guess let's just get to the next topic, and that is Ninjago theories. What kind of theory? I know Weevie has a ton of theories. What are your guys' theories on Ninjago? Just can be Dragon's Rising, can be the original show, it can be whatever.
Well, like you said, I have a lot of theories. I have a lot of, I have an idea for a lot of things when it comes to Ninjago. And people seem to like what I have to say. I still, like I said, I love my Raz's Master theory. I think that is like one of my favorites in recent time. But I think one of my favorites on an overall scale is probably my merge theory, which, to cut a long story short, and my video explains it quite nicely. The merge is very much still occurring. The lands can change at a moment's notice, and every realm does coincide with this concept, and we've seen it happen in real time in Dragon's Rising. And I think that is just a really fun concept, that the merged lands could be different at any point in time. And I just think it leads to an interesting opportunity, because like one thing that has always had emphasis is Aaron's neighborhood is gone. It was replaced by the Crossroads, but that neighborhood has to exist somewhere. Like that pocket of land has to exist somehow, and I think it's interesting to note that, for example, the bench that was on the porch of Aaron's parents' home in that neighborhood exists because it's in the monastery. So it had to appear somewhere. So it's this idea that the merge is still actively happening and the land is almost alive. I think that's just something that I really like inherently.
Yeah. I see that.
Cool idea.
I have a theory for everything.
Mr.
He's a
Theory
man.
Man over here. Okay. Mr.
We
Theory
got
Man.
Matt Pat. We got British Matt Pat in the call.
But that's
I've
just a
been called
theory.
that.
A Ninjago theory.
I've been called Ninjago MatPat before, which is like the biggest honor. Like,
That is a good title to be bestowed upon.
I'll take it. Like it's really funny to me because like when I make like my when I make my theories, they are like really tedious. I don't like making a theory without having something, and that's like the big story for me behind the Raz's Master theory, is that I've literally spent years trying to figure it out. So it's like it's the reason I love it. It's like I said, I spent so long trying to figure out Raz's Master, and I finally found something that worked. So it was really like satisfying. So like I don't force them. It's just like when I just watch through the show, and I just think it's really fun.
Yeah.
A man of many Ninjago theories and of zero jobs.
I remember when you were just randomly watching season 11 And then you just had that eureka moment where you just came with that Cole theory that you just
Yeah,
like,
rang you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's one of my I really like that one. It's Tom, if you're unfamiliar, I was watching like a while ago. I made a video called
I was in the call
Cole's.
for this, by the way, when
Yeah,
this happened.
it was called like Cole's Secret Powerless Arc or something like that, or Cole's Secret Season 11 arc, and it's because I rewatched a little bit of Season 11 one day, and I noticed that in the fire chapter, Cole doesn't use his powers until like towards the end of the season, and
Yeah.
it like I spiraled. I rang Cole, like NinjaCole, and I was like, dude, I was like, Cole doesn't use his powers. Cole doesn't touch his powers at all. Like, and it just sent like this whole thing of like Cole not being worthy of his powers, and it stems into why Wu said your powers no longer obey you. All of that good stuff, and I genuinely think it was a cut. It was cut content. Like I still believe it to this
Yeah.
very day. Because
Well,
if you
sorry, what? Oh, just did you hear? There was one of the creators of Ninjago said something like only 20% of what they come up with actually gets used in the show.
I'm the
see.
80%. I'm just no.
The theories are the 80% where you snuff it out.
But like if you look, but that's the thing though. If you look through the fire chapter, you'll note that Cole very rarely uses powers, and like there's one instance where he struggles to use his powers, and then the first time where we see him properly use his powers, there's a lot of emphasis put on it. There's a lot of like, oh, he's using his powers. Like it's a big. It feels like a big moment, but we didn't get to see everything that built up to it, and it just really strikes me as like they wanted him to have some sort of powerless arc, and they just simply didn't do it. I would love to ask Doc. I would love to pick his brain on that.
Yeah.
Because I would like to know if I'm onto something, because it is like I cannot look at the fire chapter the same anymore, because I just keep looking at Cole when I watch it now, and I'm like, you don't have powers, I know you don't. I see you over there.
When Cole
You might
doesn't
be
have
able to
powers
follow-
anymore, but you just can't prove it.
You just can't prove it.
You just can't prove it.
I don't know. Wait, we have Cole in the call. Would you like to confirm or deny this? You can't
I
plead the fifth.
Oh, I already
Ninjago doesn't
did.
have
Too
a
late.
constitution. No, Ninjago doesn't. Have...
I plead the first Spinjitzu Master. I don't know what that'll do, but
It's like putting your hand in the Bible and swearing.
I swear.
Get your right hand on the Ninjago text.
In universe, how do you
power.
guys think like the public really feels about the ninja? Because at first, in the first couple of seasons, the way I see it is they think of ninja and spinjitzu and stuff like that, kind of like a religion. But then at like season 6, it's more like a known thing, like superheroes, how they just exist and people look up to them and they're known and stuff like that.
I think
Yeah.
I think for the most part, the ninja are received fairly positively in Ninjago. I would say,
Except when they're seen to be doing something wrong, and then the public switches back on them, and then when it's just
True.
frauds, and then they're like, oh, okay, and then they switch back.
no, I think like for the most part, like they have of course some detractors, like you can't win them all. Like Mayor and Trustable stuff like that clearly doesn't like the ninja, but I think your average Ninjago citizen probably does like the ninja, and as of Dragon's Rising, I would argue that they've probably become like almost mythical. Like it feels like it definitely does feel like Dragon's Rising has emphasized the fact that the public know of what they've done and appreciate it.
Also, Dragon's Rising's like world is so mystical and vast that I bet they've forgotten just like, oh, there's ninjas with powers who fight evil snakes and stuff like that, and now they're like, holy crap, there's a piece of like animal tiger Chima land fused with this piece of the underworld fused with my house, a
Hey
lot
guys,
more pressing in that
What?
situation.
why is this floating kingdom attached to Ninjago Denny's? Like, what's going on here?
Noodle House, no!
Like, like what? Hey guys, I don't want to alarm anyone, but it seems to be that Ninjago has officially began, spreading into Ninjago City because Ninjago McDonald's is officially in the sky. Like it's getting rough.
I could see like in my favorite fast food place is like Panda Express, and I could see Chen's Noodle House, like Dareth's addiction to Chen's Noodle House being like my addiction to Panda Express. And so I just imagine during the merge he's in line waiting because they finally brought back the puffy pod stickers that he kept ranting about, and then he sees like right as he's about to walk up in line, the Chen's Noodle House just floats away and like turns into this whole mess with the merge, and he gets sucked into some other land. He's like, no, my puffy pot stickers, and he just gets flung across.
I wonder where Dareth ended up. That is actually a
Yeah,
We
really
saw
weird
him
one.
for a bit. We saw him for
Yeah,
a bit.
we have no idea where Dareth is. We have no idea.
But he was in Ninjago at one point, but and I would like to know how he got there. But it's
Oh yeah, that is the only time we've seen him, huh? That is literally the
Yeah.
only time we've seen him in Dragon. That is interesting. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
bro's just chilling. Like
Yeah.
he's just going about his day by the looks of it. Like he's not spoken to the ninja in years.
As for theories, what do you guys think of? So I forget if they said the first Spinjitzu Master created 4 realms or 5 realms. I think they've phrased it differently at different points, so I don't remember. But we know that he, like, quote unquote, created Ninjago, more so just, I guess, the landmass, so that's one that he, like, presided over. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he made the underworld as well, because it's said in one of the comics that the underworld is actually only there to keep worse beings from getting to Ninjago. So the skeletons had no interest in engaging in the affairs of the human world and Ninjago itself until Garmadon took over and made them. So I'm inclined to believe that that's why the first Spinjitzu Master put that there. And also, skeletons are disgraced warriors. That's how the skull can exist. But if they were disgraced warriors from everywhere going into this one place, we would have seen skeletons of like Chima characters, wolf people skeletons or whatever. And I don't think I don't know. Somebody said that one of the realms he possibly created was the land of Lee, just because it looks really unfinished, a bunch of mountains and stuff like that. I don't really know. The Grasslands is not considered a realm from what Doc Wyatt and Tommy and Drayson have said. So it leaves me wondering, what are the other realms created by the first Spinjitzu Master?
I I think I think I can make a comfortable link to a couple of them. Um, like it would make sense that the first Ninjitsu Master has commonalities between the realms that he's created. I would argue, obviously, like you said, Ninjago, the underworld, like you said as well. I would also say the underworld because of how interconnected they are, because they have means of getting between realms that aren't conventional, like the Fire Temple.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna bring that up. The fact that like there's like, oh, traveling between realms is so hard, but all you gotta do is like fall down a fall, use your dragons, speed up your truck, use tomorrow's tea. Like there's like a million and one ways to get to that world.
Yeah. And then to take it a step further, so like I said, I believe it's Ninjago and 4 of the realms. So, like you said, one of them Underworld. I think he may have played a part in Imperium because I think the connection of having dragons there is a bit too interesting, and obviously the similarities between Imperiums and Ninjago citizens. Um, I would also hazard a guess that he did the Netherrealm because of the existence of formlings. That it's a very weak thing to me, but it's a form-like ability, which we know is an elemental power that the first Ninjutsu Master had control of at one point because of the elemental power of form. So it seems to be that there's an inherent link there as well, which would leave one other realm, and your guess would be as good as mine on that one. I kind of assumed Mysterium at some point, but I don't have any basis on that.
I was thinking maybe the cursed realm, just because like there are two afterlives, the cursed and departed. I feel like departed is a catch-all for all of the realms, whereas cursed is just made for Ninjago. But also there are human-like people in the Cloud Kingdom, which I believe predates the first Spinjitzu Master, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think it would be Cloud King. It could be the wildness, honestly. Like, the wildness would be a solid guess, which also would mean Chima. But, you know. But, hey, I don't know.
Sorry, what?
No, I was just going to say, it would be cool if we got some clarification on which realms he did play a part in, because it'd be interesting to distinct what realms the first Spinjitzu Master did create in comparison to what they didn't, and see what the similarities and differences are. But who knows?
Yep.
Like, I think it would be cool because I think there are definitely realms that he had no part in, and I think a lot of them are comfortable answers, but there are some that could make sense but don't. But that's Ninjago for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I had an idea for a second, but it slipped by me. I don't remember. You think the first Spinjitzu Master created that, like, I don't know, we don't know anything about that one realm with all of your desires come to life somehow.
It does feel like we'll probably learn more about that one, because I think they're implying that's where they got the weapon of desolation from.
True.
That's because they cut to it like when they were talking about it. So that's probably probably gonna learn more about it like next part.
It also does seem to be that. Oh, go on.
I remembered what I was gonna say, and that was that. Did you guys see that? Apparently, all anthropomorphic creatures come from the wildness, and that how Doc Wyatt explained this was that the first Spinjitzu Master went to the wildness to make serpentine, and then brought them to Ninjago.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think that was something that I'm pretty sure Tommy came up with. And then somebody asked, like, "Hey, Doc Wyatt, is this good?" And then they were like, "Well, if Tommy likes it, sure." It's basically.
Tommy said the thing.
Yeah,
but no,
I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it would just have consistency. It would provide a lot of reasoning as to why Ninjago, which is predominantly human, just suddenly has talking snakes, which fit in perfectly with Chima.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I do like that Doc Wyatt says if Tommy liked it, then it's canon, because we have like consistency between writers instead of different writers fighting to make things differently.
Yeah,
Star Wars be like
always good. For sure.
No, I think yeah, it's nice to have clarity on little things like that. But I do think certain what's the best way? Like certain species, like when it does come to Ninjago, I do think it would be good if not every single type of like species of creature is like relegated to basically certain realms. It'd be cool if there are overlap, because it would demonstrate the fact that the realms are connected. So hopefully it's not just Imperiums belong in Imperium and they're completely separate from Ninjago people. So like it would be nice if there was if there is overlap.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's gonna do it for this fan panel. I had a lot of fun discussing these things. I say that because we're about 3 hours and 15 minutes in. My vocal cords are getting tired. I could hear Cole. I could hear Cole kind of like struggling to keep continuing conversation.
That's fine. I'm good. Yeah. No, like, yeah.
But I think this is a good place to wrap up. So thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe to all three of us, or we will come for you.
Not NinjaCole. Not NinjaCole.
No, I have enough. Yeah, I have enough. These two can have.
He's got enough. He's got enough.
Yeah.
How many subs do you have? I don't even remember.
42,000.
Oh, okay. That's really good. Damn.
Yeah.
I hit 17,000 today. Big up.
Ooh.
17,000 legends.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's actually, it's gonna be very dated by the time this comes out, but I released my Lego Batman video like 2 hours ago, and initially it was like 8 of 10, and now it's at 3. So I'm like,
Damn.
keep that up, please. Keep it up. I'm not expecting 1 of 1. I mean, I would like 1 of 1, but like by 1 of 10, whatever it is. But
Yeah, I'll upload this to my channel. Invite you guys as collaborators.
Yes,
for
I
sure.
get the clout. Yes. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I have been moving away to multi-fandom content, which I've actually been successful at for the first time. So I'm glad to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Gaining recently from that.